Ashok Chama, Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Asim Chama, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor A. Santosh Kumar, Honorable Rajasthan, Dr. H.S. Class, Honorable HR, Professor Dr. Deepak Kavalasa, respected deans, HOs, faculties, and students. A very good morning to one and all present here, both physically and virtually. This is Ishika Disney, A&M Vilas post-semester student, as well as the host for today's plan. At outset, on behalf of the entire Amity Institute of Vilas, we extend a very warm welcome to all our guests who took out their time from busy schedules to attend this informative conclave on UPSC. Before starting with our today's event, I would like to invite Assistant Professor Spanish faculty, Ms. Prajakta Hideman from ASL Department. Hideman has cleared UPSC's basic prelims twice. Ma'am, please share your experience with us.
Am I audible? So a very good morning to one and all present here. First of all, I would like to thank I'd like to thank Amity School of Liberal Arts, and I would also like to thank the students for listening to my preparation, for listening to a few points about my preparation here. So I'm right now teaching in Amity School of Languages, and I have pursued UPSC for around 4 years. I started studying for UPSC in 2015 after I completed my master's in politics. So my optional subject for civil service exam was political science and international relations. That's one subject, first of all. So after 2015, when I started, I decided to go to Delhi for civil service preparation. I had joined coaching class for general studies and for optional subjects. So as you all are aware, for UPSC civil service examination, there are 3 levels: first is prelims, then there is mains, and then there is interview. So I mean, there are honorable guests here who obviously would be addressing all these issues. I will be addressing what I have prepared, and what points you can focus when you prepare. So for preparing for prelims, there are 2 papers. One is general studies paper, and one is the compulsory paper, which is a qualifying paper, which is based on your basic English skills. It is based on the basic points, basic maths, basic logic-based questions. So you have to score minimum qualifying marks in that paper. If you qualify in that paper, then only your paper of general studies gets evaluated. So you have to be very much particular about studying for both the papers. After prelims, you have a mains examination. In mains examination, you have 2 papers of your optional subject. Then there is one compulsory language paper, which you can choose. If it's Marathi, if it's Hindi, any different language you can choose. Again, this paper is a qualifying paper. Many students do take these papers very lightly, and many students, despite having a very good score, fail to qualify in these papers. So one paper is of regional language, one paper is of basic English. It is comprehension based on basic questions. Then you have your optional papers. Then you have 4 papers of general studies, and you have 1 paper of essay. Right? Now about my preparation, I started my preparation in Delhi. So when you appear for a preliminary exam, you study for 1 year. This preparation consists of objective preparation for MCQs, multiple choice questions, and then your preparation for mains examination, which is more descriptive. For that, you have to study many reference books. You have to do answer writing. So the second part comes more with the practice. You have to practice answer writing. You have to write essays. You have to develop a proper writing style for the second examination. So this is basic preparation for civil service examination. I refer to one book list which was suggested to me by a topper of 2015. So what you can do is that you can decide which material you have to study. Don't study too much. Whatever you study in depth, because many times there are a lot of material available in the market, and we end up studying everything without revising that material. So I dedicated 9 months for preparation of prelims. I cleared prelims in 2017 and in 18. I could not score much in general studies one paper because of which I just missed the cutoff for interview by 9 marks for 2 years, consecutive years. So basically, even if you lose the cutoff for any level in the UPSC examination, you have to keep on studying. You have to read daily newspapers. For every optional subject, there are few prescribed books. Revise number of times. Try to know what UPSC exam wants from you and not what you want to study. Many a times you have to be aware of what is happening around. When you study what is happening around, you also have to study what questions might be asked on your surroundings. So read newspaper daily, write down your own notes, practice answer writing skills, practice essay writing, and make a proper timetable that from say July to next January, I will study for mains along with prelims. From January onwards till your prelims, you will study only for prelims. So the proper timetable should be followed. You definitely have to study for more than 15, 16 hours. I'm not exaggerating. I have studied for 16 hours for 4 years. You need that time because you cannot just study everything under the sky in 1 year by studying for 8 hours. So this preparation will help you to go through to sell this long journey with a very good score. I think the esteemed guests which are coming today will be speaking on this topic. So since I'm teaching at Amity, I will be there for your doubts. If you have any doubts, feel free to talk to me at any time. I have all the study material with me. The list of all materials is also available with me. So whenever you want to discuss anything, feel free. And all the very best for preparation. Be positive. That's the guiding spirit for the exam. Because there are 10 lakh aspirants and only 1,000 get selected. So don't calculate the percentage. Just try your best. I am sure the institute and these lectures will help you to get a direction for this preparation. Thank you very much, Amity Institute of Liberal Arts, for inviting me, and all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Your experience and guidance was short by helpful for all the aspirants present today. Now I would like to invite Ms. Mansi Narayan Haskar. She is a student from MSc in AIB department. Mansi has cleared prelims last year and she wants to share her experience with all of us. Mansi. Here, and Mansi Haskar, currently pursuing MSc Biotechnology from MIT University. I was interested in civil service since my childhood. I started preparing for the civil service examination after my 10th board exam, and I gave my first attempt in 2021. I cracked UPSC prelim in the same year, and I failed to pass the mains examination. Definitely, this is not a success for me, but I learned many things from these experiences. That the main thing is we should start preparation from prelim along with mains. So I didn't waste time for the mains. That's why I failed to pass the mains examination. The most horrible nightmare for aspirant, UPSC aspirant is failure first attempt. So the officers, the successful officers who already clear, even in second attempt, third attempt, or even in last attempt, demonstrate us how they dedicatedly crack the UPSC exam. So definitely, I also take inspiration from many such officers, and this for your present UPSC aspirants for your future. Thank you. Jai Hind. I'm happy to share the fact that total 140 students have registered online for this event from every nook and corner of our country. This conclave is mainly organized to hear all our doubts, fears, and to give us a crystal clear way of achieving this. And through a live conversation with three distinguished guests from three glamorous professions who will motivate and guide us to increase enthusiasm and hard work. This morning, we have amongst us three prominent personalities: Sri K. Siddharth Sir, Shri Shubham Gupta sir, and Srimati Charu Malik ma'am. Honor to welcome our guests on dance and felicitate with a token of gratitude. For that, I would like to invite Isha Ranva to felicitate our chief guest, Shri K. Siddharth sir. Shri K. Siddharth sir is an earth scientist, strategic thinker, author, and mentor of 1,600 and above civil servants across India. We are also joined here today by Bhavna Sharma ma'am, HOI ABS, Professor Dr. Shrikant Charate D, and Professor Dr. Gautam Gavni, Student Welfare. You're welcome. Thank you. Isha, felicitate our chief guest, Shri K. Siddharth sir. Shubham Gupta sir. Shubham Gupta sir is an IS officer at 2009, assistant director. At Government of Maharashtra. Thank you, sir, for facing this occasion. Now, I would like to invite Riya Bharadwaj to felicitate our prominent guest, Ms. Charu Malik ma'am. Is a very well-known actress, TV panelist, motivational speaker, and perception management consultant. Thank you, ma'am, for this occasion. Now I invite my associate student, BA Economics Honors, to deliver the welcome address.
A very good morning to one and all present here today. We at Amity believe in garnering our talents and commingling our vision with the opportunities that we perceive in the present and in the future. We believe that the golden thread running through the fabric of education is the inspiration that shapes young minds. Today, I feel extremely privileged as I, Mayuri Joshi, on behalf of Amity Institute of Liberal Arts, Amity University, Mumbai, extend a very warm welcome to our esteemed guests and a wonderful audience who have joined us for our UPSC Motivational Conclave. Today, we are grateful to have amongst us respected Shri K. Siddharth sir, who is an earth scientist, strategic thinker, author, and mentor of 1,600 plus civil servants across the country. Welcome, sir. We are truly fortunate. Next guest is Shri Shubham Gupta sir, who secured All India Rank 6 in UPSC CSE. The government of Maharashtra as an assistant collector, and an idol for all the young UPSC aspirants present here today, physically and virtually. Welcome, sir. We are keen to hear your inspiring words. Our final guest for today is Ms. Charu Malik ma'am, who is a distinguished media personality, TV panelist, management consultant, motivational speaker, and also an actor. She has been associated with guiding and motivating students for building their career. Welcome, ma'am. We are extremely honored. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. A.W. Santosh Kumar, sir. Honorable Registrar, Dr. H.S. Vyas, sir. Head of Institute, Amity Institute of Liberal Arts, Dr. Deepak Havaldar, sir. Respected Dean, HOIs, and faculty members of Amity University, Mumbai, present here today. Last but not the least, I cordially welcome the students of Amity University, Mumbai, who are present here with us, and a wonderful audience from across the country who has joined us to the online group. Now, without any further ado, I would like to request Ishika to take the program ahead. Thank you.
I would like to invite our first speaker for today, Sri Subham Gupta sir. Is an inspirational figure who is ranked 6th in the country to the UPSC 2018 exam. He is posted as an assistant collector in Nashik. We're eager to hear his speech on what are civil services and how do they run the government. Over to you.
Morning to all. Honestly, I didn't prepare any speech. I just going to talk my heart out. So, what are civil services and how does one run the country through certain status? So, I think multiple things that need to be very, very clear. I think I was just telling me about it that most of the people maybe just beginning to start their careers, like most of you are in the first year and probably thinking about whether to make a career out of civil services or what else to do. So, it is also very important to have a panel like this where you understand that civil services is only one way of how you can go about and make a life out of life out of yourself, and also that there are other ways of doing it. Like Dr. Sir is an icon in itself. Is a I mean, he does everything practically. Right? So you have to sort of look up to him in that sense. Sharuna is also there. She's personality. She's done anchoring and she's done everything of that sort. So in terms of civil services, I think first of all, it's very important to understand that civil services are only a part of the administrative setup. That we, of course, we are part of the government. We work on behalf of the government to sort of bring about a lot of things in place and all that. But what is missing in that perspective is the role of a lot of other actors, which sort of becomes very important when we start talking about running the government, running the administration, and administering the country. For example, a lot of times I get asked this question that you became an IAS officer. So, is your experience the same with politicians? Politicians, बहुत ज़्यादा परेशान तो नहीं करते हैं. Like they always problematic, are they always troublesome? So I always tell this, and I think I've been saying this for 3 years, but I still keep getting asked the same question. That no, they are not, and I did not expect them to be. They are pretty knowledgeable people. They are supposed to understand the ground situation much better as compared to how we do. So it's very important for politicians to sort of have that kind of stake in the system as compared to, or probably in consonance with administrators at the same time. Right? So that is, I think, one very important learning, that how a governmental system works is in consonance with a lot of other actors. Apart from politicians, there are also a lot of civil society which sort of works around you. That is very important because they're taking a lot of expertise, they're taking a lot of patience for that matter in terms of how works need to be executed. So I think all those things together probably make a country's government system much more sophisticated, much more efficient as compared to what we think. And in terms of civil services, I think there are. I'm assuming that most of you know that there are multiple civil services. Even when I was preparing, my parents also knew about only things for IAS, IPS, and IAS. But when I started writing and I of course set the forms and all that, I realized that there are probably 23 services which one can qualify for the same exam of civil services, and all are equally capable of sort of doing some kind of transformational change in the government setup of the country. Every service is unique in itself. Every service provides a different sort of challenge. I have been lucky to be part of 2 services. I was part of it in Audit and Account Service in 2017, and now I'm part of the administrative service. I've always wanted to work in the administrative services, though, and that is because I wrote the exam again. I was very fortunate to be at this exam. But it is important to understand that every service is unique in itself, and for that matter, every other job is very unique in itself, and it only matters what sort of impact you want to create when you are in the system or out of the system, and that really makes your life and makes your journey much more easier and much more meaningful. So I think that is very important to understand things in those perspectives when you're trying to plan a career in civil services, or maybe a career which is aligned to civil services in that sense. That is also one very important aspect. And I generally don't speak for long. I don't like to give monologues, so I'm not going to speak for a long time. I'll probably wait for sort of a guide us more about it. And I'd like to take your questions and talk to you much more in terms of what you really want to understand what I would just like to end my this short speech is with that. I think civil service is really a transformational job which India has been very fortunate to have. It is a legacy system, but it is a very fast evolving system, and the kind of diversity, the kind of challenges, the kind of atmosphere that we get to work in, it is just unparalleled. And I'm just not talking about India, but talking the entire world, and that's something which I stand by after working in the government system for about 3 years, and I think I speak for most of my colleagues and most of my seniors when I say that. So it is a career which gives you a lot of perspective when you actually start working on the field, and that is something which is unparalleled. So I think I would just like to add with that, and thank you.
So much, sir. Now, I would like to invite our next speaker and our chief guest for this conclave, Sri Siddharth, sir. Siddharth sir is a strategic thinker, geostrategist, knowledge and perception management consultant, thought leadership trainer, and advisor to several international and state governments. He is distinguished earth scientist, educationist, mentor of 1,600 plus civil servants, film personalities, entrepreneurs, policymaker, and he is an author of 43 books and 116 research articles. As a mentor, his hand in mentoring 60,000 plus students for IS, IFS, IPS, IRS, and other civil services. He has over 20 years of experience in mentoring for earth science. As an author, he has written books on cosmology, geology, meteorology, oceanography, environmental sciences, human geography, international relations, and history. So, there's going to be a speech on getting easily into civil services as an opening to super success in the 21st century.
Thank you so much for those kind words. Privilege and honor and part of it. All here. And equally thrilled to have Shubham with me. We had interaction when he was preparing for the civil services interview session. And since then, we have known his potential. And of course, Carol Malik. Carol Malik is, as I see, she is a complete genius in herself. Largely because of the range of work and other things that she tries to do, and she would do that. Including being an anchor, being a moderator, being a panelist, being a motivator, and whatnot. And all of these things are traits which a civil servant must want to acquire. And she has characteristic more than that. Sure, of course, iconic in that sense. Because a good number of students are preparing for civil service, they look up to him, and he is an inspiration for the young generation. We are older people now. Now, I just want to begin by asking you some questions. Will you answer it? Will you answer it or not?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank God you had your breakfast so that you were able to speak. Now, if you go to get one key with which you can open a lot of locks, will you like to have it? Okay. If you have to do one thing which will go on to open your career for almost everything in the whole of the world, will you like to prepare for that career, or will you like to go for a job, being an employee of someone? You like to build up a career, or you like to go for a job, a career which will go on to open vista for almost everything that is happening in the world, and that is likely to happen to you in the 21st century. Do you like to prepare?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you believe in preparing a base, or is it that you are always willing to live your life every day the way it is? Is it that you want to prepare a base, a solid base, on which you can go to lay down as much amount of weight as it is possible? Or is it that you go on to have a party, you go to get the job, and you are satisfied with a job, with a that type of a friend there, and then some kids there, and then some family and a nice car.
But you have to prepare for a solid base.
Solid base. Why? You can sit down. Say, no issue, no issue.
If we have a solid base, then only we get the right.
Without a solid base, there is no way you can go to build up on that. It's simply not possible. Now you may go on to know that, but one must prepare for civil services. At least the whole of the country starts preparing for civil services. Whether they get it or not, they will get all the keys. In one key, you are going to have all the solutions. If you solve one problem, then you have all the problems solved, everything. Anyone who is preparing for civil services, whether they qualify it or not, they will never, ever be unsuccessful. I repeat it, mind these words, right? They will never, ever be unsuccessful, whether they are in civil services or not. So, should you prepare? It's largely because you will go on to be anything. You can go on to become a cricketer, you can go on to become an actor or an actress. You have an example here, you have an IAS officer here as well, and you have a old poor teacher also in front of you, right? So you have all these type of examples in front of you. Okay. Now, because we are moving in 21st century, then 21st century is going to be very, very different, and 21st century is subjecting us to the type of war that you cannot imagine. If I say that our country is fighting a war, will you believe it? A war, and it's intense war, not a normal war, it's intense war. Will you believe it? Does it look like that we are fighting a war? Yes or no? It's largely because this war is not what you perceive. It's information war, it's cyber war, it's a currency war, it's an identity war, it's a perception war, right? It's not only a war that is fought with missiles. Missiles are the last one to be fired. Guns are the last one to fire. But then you are in the throes of, and you are in the midst of a super war, and a war that has been waged on India, and the whole of the world is fighting it. Can you believe it? That is what you see, what you read sometimes in newspapers or anywhere, that has no relevance at all. That's largely because you don't see it on television channels that there are two countries that are fighting a war. Two countries that are fighting a war, right? I let you know they are not fighting a war at all. It's all a fixed match. Everything is fixed. The outcome is fixed. What people are going to do is fixed. Everything is fixed in this case. And people are going to believe that there is a war that is going on. Now that is largely because it's information war. Information war has a meaning. It has an aim. The aim is that the moment your mind is enslaved, your entire thinking is in the mind. I can make you do anything that I like. So your mind slave as well. That is information war. That is the war. That is a perception war as well. And this was the perception war that was waged by the Britishers. Imagine 11,000 Britishers ruled over 21 crore people. Imagine 11,000 Britishers ruled over 21 crore people of India. Shame on us. It is because of our inability. It is not that they were powerful. It was we who were so docile or so identityless that imagine in a country which is the richest in terms of languages, we are still talking and giving you a lecture in English that is the language of the colonial powers. That is another matter of being shame on us. But then this is largely because our minds have been completely enslaved in this case. Now that is because of this aspect. Now let's understand it better. To most of the companies, to most of the countries, you are actually a commodity. You are almost like that of a mobile phone. So When we say that you are almost like a mobile phone, you will have to make a big effort that no one can go to change you the moment a new model comes. Do you understand that? We say that for most of the companies, for most of the countries, that you are almost like that of a mobile phone. What they will going to do is, the moment there is a new model, they will change you. Will you like to be replaced and changed in a manner that is in a manner that is you are treated like a mobile phone? Think of it. Give me an answer. Will you like to be treated like that? How many people like to be treated like that? Okay, and how many people don't like to be treated like that? Just raise your hands. That's good. That's very good. Now, to that effect, you require an identity. You require a personality. But then you don't know that the way that you are being programmed. You don't have an idea how is it that you are being programmed and where and how is it that you're programmed. You're programmed through social media. You're programmed through channels. You're programmed through newspapers. You're programmed through a variety of information that is going to be given to you. Half of them are crooked. Half of them are wrong. Now you're going to say, what's my fault in that? It's your fault because if you have the ability to differentiate these information, you will come to know that this information is correct, this information is not. This information is something that is relevant to us, and we're going to verify this information. You say that how is it that you can go to verify it? There is a process of verifying this information. If you know this process, your conclusion will be correct. The moment you go to follow the process, your conclusion is bound to be correct. And if you don't want to follow the process, and who is not going to follow the process? Those people will not go to follow the process, who are enslaved in their mind, who will imitate. The moment they want to see anything, they will go on to start imitating it. It's like saying, I'm going to use two words, general, in a general manner. And of course, we have a specialist in this case, she will going to correct me if I'm going to be wrong in that part. Do you know the difference between fashion and style? Fashion and style. Fashion is for masses. Style is for leaders. Leaders have their style. They don't follow fashion at all. So when we are saying that you have to, am I correct? Okay. So then what we are going to do here in this case that you are being injected with viruses of a variety of types. Now I'm cautioning you before I come to the actual part, so that you realize that is how is it that the world is shaping up. And we are beginning with the fact that the world is in the throes of a variety of type of wars, including information war. So you are injected with a variety of type of viruses, and you know what these viruses will go to do to you. What they will going to do is that they will going to make you, prompt you, think in a very, very short manner, very short-term manner. You're going to think like, okay, I'm going to do something only for about a day or two, and then the rest of things are going to be taken care of. I just want to have this job, going to make a lot of money, going to buy a swanky car, and of course going to have some friends, those type of friends. You understand that? You can apply on all of these things. The second part is in this case is going to be that is the result of this virus is that you will going to become reactionary. You will not respond to a question. You will react to a question. The moment someone goes to say so, you will react, flame. Maybe that you're going to burst with anger or whatever. You will not respond. Responding and reaction, both of them are different type of emotion. When you respond with some amount of a sense, some amount of a sensibility, some amount of a rationality. Reaction means that is, you have said whatever not was to be said. That is the result of this virus. The third result of this virus is that you will go to become opinionated. You will go to have an opinion on almost everything. Right? Now you have an IAS officer in this place. Let's say there is a problem in his district. There is a problem associated with his region. That is going to be in Vidarbha region, that is going to be in a Dryland region. Now, the government will go to take his feedback. He will go to be talked about that is there. What can be done for the benefit of this agriculture, for the farmers, for water harvesting, and he will go to give all these inputs. Not only him, all of these officers who are subordinate to him, and all of those officers who are senior to him, they will go to give feedback to the government. Now then the government will go to call a meeting here. Now once this meeting is called, then there is a policy that is going to be laid out. Now this is what is going to be good for it. Of course, anything that is going to be good for it, it will not go to benefit everyone, but then for the majority. This is how the policies are made. Am I correct, Shubham? Now imagine any policy, any decision that is taken with the help of something like some 30, 40 people, and based on information, that information is very, very correct. How is it that you can go to say that policy is incorrect? How exactly? But this is because of opinion. You may want to have an opinion, and you have an opinion not on any basis. You have an opinion because you want to make an opinion, and that goes on to empty you when you want to say this opinion to someone, and that is not rational. That means that you are liable to be infected by these type of viruses, and you are liable to be affected by such type of disease as well. And the moment I know, let's say if I'm a corporate and I know that this is something that can happen to you, then you are an easy prey for me. You're a very, very easy prey for me in this case. The fifth component in this case will be that you will going to become a static. A static means you will not go to experiment. Experiment with your thinking, experiment with your skill, experiment with your life, experiment with anything that is going to be possible. Can you imagine? Civil services preparation prepares you to deal with all of these problems. And that is the only examination that prepares you to deal with everything in this case. All the challenges of 21st century, if it is that can be met or that can be prepared or that can be, in a sense, we can go to say, which can be nullified, it can only be with help of civil services. How? The first thing is that civil services helps you to preserve your identity. Now this is significant because we are living in I assume you know the meaning of this word, gig economy. I assume. My assumption is correct or incorrect. Respond something. Incorrect or correct? Incorrect. Oh, that's very good. That's very good. Now, gig economy in very general sense means that everyone can go to be a brand. Everyone, all of you can go to be a brand. Gig economy means that you can go to do your work from your house, from your drawing room, from your library, from your room. Gig economy means that you are an institution in yourself, like Amity University is an institution, that gig economy is an institution. You have one example here of gig economy, that is Charul. She is a complete brand in herself. People will go to come to her for her, not because she is attached to a channel or anything else. That is big economy. All of you can go to it. The day you go to have an identity, the day you go to have a brand, your own brand, no one can harm you. No one can harm you. And why is it that we say that you are going to be harmed? You are harmed because the whole of the world is actually after you. You are under problem. You may go to realize that. I realize it after some 30, 40, 50 years of time, but you may go to realize it after the same time, perhaps. So, civil services go to make your identity, preserve your identity. Because in civil services preparation, you're going to get knowledge, you're going to get access, you're going to get an ability to filter information, you're going to get right information, you are in a position to follow a path that you can go to follow. That is an identity. Even if you don't want to qualify, you know how to make your identity. Second is, civil services prevents you from following a rat race. Now, rat race can be, it's like looking for a job. That means the moment there is a nice job Job is a job. Job is not always a career. There is a difference between career and job. Career is something that you do for yourself, your identity, to keep on improving upon yourself. Job is something that you won't do it for other companies, other people. And that means you allow your talent to be kept ransom by that maybe institution, company or anything. You do use it, but only partly out of it. So civil services doesn't allow you to be in a rat race at all because you have an identity. Now, Shubham will going to let you know on that part. That is after some time, when he, after some maybe 10, 15, 20 years of time, he will go to go on the road. He will going to have a cavalcade. He will going to have a police car also in front of it. There will be some people who will spot him also, and he will going to live a life inside if he wishes to. It's only if he wishes to. He is a simple boy that way, right? There is a third part as well. That is a civil services preparation doesn't allow you to be in a 15-minute pay. Most of the people are looking for 15 minutes of pay. And the moment they're going to be doing it, so you're going to find a good number of outlandish people clicking their pictures, poses only for 15 minutes and posting it here, there on social media, only because they want a fame for some amount of time. As if this 15 minutes of a fame will go on to help create an identity for themselves. These are actually foolish people. High quality fools. That doesn't go on to begin with F. Foolish is FOOLIS. High quality fools are PHOO. Right? That is how they are going to be identified. Civil services preparation also helps in another way. That is building your capital. You understand the meaning of capital? Do you want capital? Okay, do you understand the meaning of capital? Tell me one example of capital. Now you're trapped. You're trapped. That is not capital. Capital is social capital, intellectual capital, natural capital, perceptual capital. Money is no capital at all. Is no capital at all. We always say when you have to chase, don't chase money, chase vision. Money will end up following you. Chase identity, money will end up following you. You're going to get loads of money that way. And money is something, it is with me, it is with you. It can be, you may have seen so many of these stories that within 3 days, 4 days, everything can go on to become everything. That is fame is something like a vapor. Riches are rags. What endures it? Only character. This is what we are living right now. I'm going to say it's so difficult to build up. Eventually, go to a car and a house and everything. Now, we are going to be talking about building social capital. If you have people who have trust on you, mind these words. If you have people who have trust on you, if you have people who are trusted, there is nothing you can't do, and you don't require money for that. You don't require money for that. Flipkart was not built by capital, it was built by people. Amity was not built by capital, it was built by people who had the social capital of your founder, Mr. Chauhan, at that point of time. That you want to pick up any institution that's not built up by. Even you're going to pick up Facebook, that was not built up by money, it was built up by social capital. 5 friends, 4 friends came together, combined together, and after having combined together, they made it something that the whole of the world is mad after. So, of course, mad people are always going to be mad after mad people. That is how it is. This is the rule. That's the general rule. Then, what civil service is also going to do is that it will not go on to, it will always go on to let you know about the new problems that are going to be emerged, the unknown problems that are going to be emerged. This is largely because it's going to fill you with a variety of type of information, the ability to process that information, and also that you go to get to know about the whole of the world. Like what I'm saying here, that this war that is being fought in Russia and Ukraine between both of them, that is That is a complete eyewash. It's a complete eyewash. It's no war at all. The war that is being waged, you don't know. And you don't know what exactly is being done, how exactly it is being done. Why? Because you don't want to think in this manner. We are going to be talking about it. The civil services will go to help you understand what is the problem, what is not the problem. What exactly is the problem that you are going to face, and what will be the problem that will never come to know of it. Civil services preparation will also go on to prepare you for any type of perception war. Perception war, that means that you will come to know whether you are being made fooled or not, whether you are being fooled or not. You will come to know. And once you go to know that, imagine your life will go to become so good. Reality comes up. Civil services preparation will also go to help you know India's role in the future. Now, if anyone goes on to let you know, if anyone tells you that India is right now one of the most powerful countries in the world, will you believe it? Believe it? Okay, why? What makes you think so? I give you some indication. If in the Middle East that means Southwest Asia. Southwest Asia means Israel, UAE, Saudi Arabia. If they have got bonded together, it is because of India. If Ukraine war will be finished, it is because of India. If we are able to kick dollar out of our economy, it will be because of India, right? You cannot go to imagine the respect that India gains once in the international economy. It's a different matter that a good number of people here, they keep on cursing their own prime minister, but the type of charisma and other things that he goes into hold in the whole of the world, that is unmatched, unimaginable. And why so? Why so? That's because of some reasons. That's because people in India may go to follow perception. Outside people don't want to go by perception at all. And it doesn't mean that I'm a fan of our it doesn't go to mean it so. Civil services will also go to help you in career transition. It's not that you can go on to know a lot of things that I'm going to be talking about with mechanical, with something like that. Maybe political science will go to help you like this. So with management, will not come to know. I'm going to give you some examples that what have been some of the greatest debaters that the management students have done. One of those management students who was posted as a big CEO, and he was having a salary package of something like some 20 crores of rupees per year. He was asked to prepare an inventory for a certain type of rare earth elements which were going to be significant for a mobile company. Now, he was not able to understand that part. And he said that we're going to buy it from Bolivia, we're going to buy it from this region, that region, and so on. Now, ultimately, what happened was China went on to store all of those rare earth elements themselves, and the entire company went bankrupt. He just needed to know. He just needed to know why is it that China will go to accumulate all the rare earth elements, which is part of basic knowledge of international politics. That was it. So you cannot go to do business without understanding the internal security aspect of your country. It's like we're going to say, just take an example, that if you have a big establishment, and in front of the big establishment, tomorrow or day after tomorrow, some jihadis come and they start shouting it, the price of that entire establishment will come down no less than 200 times. It was cost 400 crores, it will go to be not even selling you for 2 crores. Now, that is what exactly that you will come to know, and you can come to know only through civil services preparation. Only through civil services preparation, you can go on to go for career transition. Now, imagine that is very, very important now. We are actually living in a world where we cannot go on to remain stuck with one type of a career. It's not possible. It's not possible. Tomorrow you may go to feel like you want to roam the whole of the world. And you have actually roamed the whole of the world. And after roaming the world, you go to think that why not start a company where people can go on to move to Bulgaria, to Cambodia, to Kampuchea, to Myanmar, and to other countries on a motorbike. And they will be that will be very enjoyable, like I have enjoyed it. Now, that is an idea that is going to come up, and you will go to leave your job and try to be an entrepreneur. Now, in trying to be entrepreneur, you will of course gain some information, gather some information, process that information, and that is what we are going to be talking about. You may go to feel like going for a career transition. I just want to give you my example. Some of you may go to feel like that I have done a lot of work. I don't have a formal schooling. I have been in school only for 1.5 years of time. That was all. That is all the schooling that I have done. I have been in college at least once, that is only for 32 days, and then I tried to do something else, and that was for another something like some 40, 50 days of a time. I thought that I am not fit for it. I am a student of physics. I took my multimedia when multimedia was in rage. I did my fashion designing as well. I taught civil services aspirants as well, international relations, geography, and all those subjects. I have been advisor to 3 governments, Maldives, Morocco, Sri Lanka. I established a complete education city in Sri Lanka. Right now, I am taking classes of experiential economy in Dubai, Singapore, and Sydney in management institutes. And I'm also advising the government how to protect India in the international market. That is career transition. So I feel like अब ये काम करना चाहिए. This is how I exactly go to feel like, and I go to do it. I just want to switch onto it. That's largely because it goes to give me so much amount of pleasure and satisfaction that way. So we are actually moving towards gig economy, and where such type of career transition will actually be required. If you cannot go to do career transition, what will happen is that you will go to become a dead person in that place. And the best way to experience career transition and prepare yourself for career transition is by preparing for civil services. What civil services is going to do is, and what civil services is going to do is prepare your career. And what exactly goes into prepare your career? Your career means that you have independence of thinking is your career. If you are not independent in thinking, you can't go to build a career at all. Career means that you have an identity. If you don't have an identity, people go to see that he's an employee of this person, he's an employee of this company. You don't have an identity as well. Career means you have a high degree of self-understanding. You know your strengths, you know your weaknesses as well. Very high degree of self-understanding. It's like someone goes on to say that I can go to become a fast bowler. Do you think that I can go to become a fast bowler? Think of it. You know cricket? Okay. You know Rohit Sharma? Virat Kohli? Okay, now you know me as well. Do you think that I can go to become a cricketer? Okay, why? Give me a reason. Sorry?
You need that to practice.
Okay, I'll do it in 2 years, 3 years of time. I'll leave everything and go for practice. Age. Okay. Now at 87 years of age, I'm 87 years of age. So do you think that I'll be able to do something? My body will go to allow me to do something? Had I been after 25, I would have done something. Is it not so? Now, does that amuse you? Is it that something amuses you? Nothing. That means you are not observant enough in this case. Anyway, so self-understanding is, I know that I can go to do this much, I cannot go to do these things. There are a lot of things that I can go to do, there are a lot of things that I can't go to do. I have done. Now, getting to know your strengths and weaknesses is going to be your career. Because otherwise, what you're going to do is that you will keep on moving towards something that you imagine, not going by your strengths and weaknesses. Career is also an ability to pick up new things. Always pick up new things. And only those new things which you can go to learn and you can go to logic it out. And also build social capital. I always go on to talk on social capital. Social capital means you have a group of people, maybe which you want to be calling as friends, acquaintances, who have trust on you. Always remember, trust is a much more bigger virtue than love. You may love someone, but you don't want to trust them. That has no meaning at all. It is no meaning at all. And you cannot go to be friends with those people. Cannot go to be friends with those people who you are only acquainted with. Friends are only those people who know you, who tease you, and who understand you. Take an example. I just going to give you one example. There's an incident I want to take place. That is, there is a person who goes on to fall sick. Now, one of these days, that boy falls sick and he falls on the floor. Now, the moment he goes on to fall on the floor, what happens is that some of his friends they gave him a tight slap. Jab dekho tab girta rehta hai, and then they take them to the hospital. This is what friendship is about. When your parents go to love you, what they will go to say, oh my boy, oh my baby, they'll cuddle you, right? They'll protect you. But then friends understand you. That is the basic nature of it. They may not go to trust you, they may not want to like you as well, but then that is what it is. This is what we are going to be talking about. Now, thus, in order to have this type of a career, how is it that civil services is actually going to be helping you? And once, as I said, that is in the beginning, once you have in civil services, you can go to do a lot of things, anything that you can imagine. There are certain traits that you require for. One of them is perception management. Perception, you have to be perception manager. Perception manager means your ability to see certain things in a completely balanced manner. If you're not able to see certain things in balanced manner, then you don't have any chance in your life. Forget about civil services. Now take an example. Take one example. If I ask you to pick up the name of a politician, who is the one politician that you like in the country? And there is an answer hidden in this question. Give me the name of one politician that you like. It's not a difficult question. See, I will not tell anyone else outside this institution. Is that okay?
Saying somebody saying
Rahul Gandhi. Well, I only think that is that the earth doesn't go on to develop a crack and go to fall into it after reading this name. Anyone, I don't know how did that and what can be the genesis of this name. But then in terms of work, in terms of qualification, in terms of anything that you can go to pick it up, anything that you want to pick it up, in terms of statements made, in terms of activity, in terms of talent, in terms of attitude, I don't know how is it that in the whole of the world one can go to think the name that I have heard, right? I only can go to feel sorry for me, that is all that I can do. But then pick up some genuine name, some genuine name. Sorry? Okay. Yes? Aditya Thackeray. Why only Maharashtra? Why only Maharashtra? Oh, again Maharashtra.
Nitish Kumar.
Sorry?
Nitish Kumar.
Nitish Kumar, you are from Bihar. See, all of these people who have taken this name, and he was very proud of taking the name of Nitish Kumar. For some of you people to know, Nitish Kumar has been one of the best administrators, much better administrator than our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But is it that a virtue that is going to be strong enough, and is it going to be a virtue that is going to be very important for being the Prime Minister? Answer is no. You require an attitude as well for that. Now, you should have asked a question, which type of politician? Now, politician can be development politician. Politician can be aura politician. Or politician can be division politician. There was someone who took a name of one of these persons and said that I can go to politics, development. That is division politics, right? Development politics can be also development. It can also be intellectual politics. For example, what Dr. Shashi Tharoor goes to do is that he plays intellectual politics, right? What Prime Minister Modi goes to do is that he is more into development politics and aura politics. He's changing the whole of the world so that when he goes for some harsh measures in India, then the world community doesn't go on to obstruct him, right? That is the reason that he is building the whole of the world. I don't know that it's going to be good or not. The only time that he's going to tell us. Then there are going to be some communal politicians who are going to talk about something like Jati, Biratri, Brahmin, these people, those people, and so on and so forth. So that should have been your question. And why? The best answer to a question is always a counter question. Always a counter question. Because when you would have asked this question, my range would have gone into the narrow. And that is balance. When you say, when you are asked about a politician, this is that I like a politician, but objectively speaking, on the basis of this analysis, my likings are very different from the reality. Your liking has nothing to do with being a politician. All the names that you talk about, they are associated with your liking. Likings don't make a politician at all. A politician requires to be a statesman. A statesman is one person who thinks about your country 20 years ahead. A statesman is not a person who thinks about next elections. He thinks about the country 20 years ahead. If I go to say you that it is our politicians who allowed Indian Ocean to be completely dominated by China, and they did it deliberately, you won't believe it. But that is a fact. This is largely because we almost gifted Sri Lanka to China. We almost gifted Myanmar to China. And the day you know that, how is it was gifted and what was the manipulation behind it, you will shudder with not only fear but also with shame. That is, well, this is how our politicians going to be here. But then that is the way it is. So perception management, your ability to manage perception must be the first trait, must be the first characteristic before you start preparing for civil service. Second is you have to be now a design thinker, a lateral thinker, and so on. I hope you know about this design thinking, lateral thinking. It's like take an example. We go to call United States civilized country. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now tell me, how is it that a country that killed all the native population before occupying that region? How is it that a country which banks on dividing people and selling arms to both of them? Arms sale is the greatest source of income for the Americans. How is it that a country that sows seeds of a disease, of a virus, and then banks on selling vaccination or medicines to them? How is it that a country that tries to break through, tries to tell you all of those things through their social media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, everything that is harms you can be civilized. Civilization is all about respecting your environment. It is all about respecting your environment. Which type of environment? Your physical environment, natural environment, economic environment. If you're civilized and you take care of this chair, right, you're civilized. If you're civilized and you take care of the viewpoints of other people, you are civilized. If you're civilized and you take care of the plants outside, you are civilized. Civilization is all about that. Now, when we are talking about design thinking, vertical thinking, all of these efforts and the actions that have been taken and that have been done by most of these countries, like the United States, who is the one country responsible for global warming? If you can have to pinpoint some of these countries, it is the Western countries. Why? They never thought. They thought that let the environment be dirty, let the rivers be dirty, let the atmosphere be dirty. You don't have to do anything at all. Lateral thinking would have been, well, if we are to get so much amount of carbon dioxide, then it is the same way that the people will go on to smell, they will go on to breathe, and that will go on to harm them. That means that would have been lateral thinking. A lateral thinker is able to take a lot of variables into account. So you have to take a lot of variables into account if you have to qualify for civil service. Also, the third trait is going to be your ability to differentiate emotion. Now, when we say emotional differentiation, that means something. Emotional differentiation means that you are able to differentiate a friend with an acquaintance, with a person that you want to love and a person that you respect, All of them are different. A friend, that means emotional differentiation means you understand the difference between a coach, a trainer, a teacher, and a mentor. All of them are not the same. and they don't want to fulfill the same type of requirement as you. A coach may go to make you practice some of these things. A trainer will go to make you accomplish in that. A teacher will go to pick up one chapter and go to make you perfect in that. But then a mentor will chisel you. He will completely reform you. He will be after you. He will go on to insert a lot of things in your mind, and your mind will start bubbling with questions, with curiosity. That is a mentor. That is emotional differentiation. If you are not able to emotionally differentiate it, there is no way you can go to prepare for the examination. Largely because when you require mentoring, you go to a coach. When you require a training, you go to a teacher, and so on. Your entire family doesn't go to do the same type of work. Your mother's work is different, your father's work is different, your sister's work is different. In any family, who is the one person who is interested to make the family happy? You realize it? Mostly it is the sisters. Mostly it is the girls and the youngest girls who are puffy and who wear a variety of type of dresses and so on. And they are the darling of the entire of the house. And the family splurges a lot of things on them as well. That is, you see how the word goes on to be beautiful outside. So when we are talking about emotional differentiation, you must go on to have this emotional differentiation once you started preparing for it. Of course, knowledge is one part of it. Without knowledge, how is it that you can go to move anywhere? Also, you must be in a position to filter information. Take an example. The internet is filled with so much amount of information. Now, is it that there is any accountability of the people who go on to give this information on the internet? Consider my question. Is it that the people who go on to upload some information, write something, post some pictures, or analyze something, give their viewpoints, is it that they have any accountability at all or not? Do they have any accountability? Okay, one is not always. What can be the second one? No accountability at all. No, absolutely no accountability. So it's like, let's say someone prepares a lesson for you, and this lesson is going to be full of wrong facts. And you say that this person is very hilarious, and that you must go to follow it, and you go to follow that lesson. Whose fault it is? Yours or the person who has uploaded it? Whose fault? When you read from the net, when you read from the web, and you don't have the credentials known, then whose fault it is? It's yours. Now, it cannot be your fault if you know how to filter that information, how to sort out this information, how to use this information in a better manner. Now, that is what civil service. When anyone preparing for civil service, they require to know that. Then, of course, you have to be a learner. Now, when we say learner, learning is the best learning is through. The best learning is through books. Or let me know how is it that you learn. Sorry? Mistakes. So you want to do all mistakes. In order to commit exercise, you go to first commit exercise and then to know of it. No. Sorry? Okay, that's one. The observation is one. What can be the other one? From others' experiences. Who's learn from their experience? Why learn from others? Right? That's good. See, there are two ways of learning. One of them is intuitive. The second is logical. Intuitive and logical. Logical means first step, second step, third step, fourth step, fifth step, and so on. And come to the conclusion. Provided you know the process of coming to a conclusion. Boys' mind are basically made in such a manner. They have two hemispheres. One hemisphere is meant for something different, another hemisphere is meant for something different. They don't have too much amount of wiring between them. Now, boys are very different. They go mostly for logical learning. Girls go for intuitive learning. Now, intuitive learning basically means that you eliminate a lot of steps and come straight on to the conclusion. If you ask a girl, that is, I am seeing this man, the girl will go to say, no, he is not the right person. He is a completely crooked person. The boy will keep on asking, what makes you think so? What makes you think so? Now the girl may not go to answer that, but she has come to the conclusion and mind it has conclusions are always correct. Always correct. This is largely because this is the way that the girls are not only programmed, like their hardware is also like that. These two hemispheres in boys, they're not wired. That means there is not too much amount of interlinkage between the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. While in a girl, there is a lot of wiring, a lot of connectivity between both of these hemispheres. So she may have seen something in her childhood, and then on the basis of the childhood experience, she will go to come to a conclusion. See, I told you, and you will go to observe also that when there is a fight between your father and mother, your mother always keeps on saying, I told you this person was not good, this situation is not good, and you never followed me. That's largely because they are intuitive. Intuitive learning is the best form of learning. And of course, girls have a lot of advantage over boys in this case. Girls are much more intelligent than boys. It's largely because of these two connections that they're going to be having. Girls are also stronger than the boys as well. Girls are also going to be much more valuable. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I mean, talk to who has made this girls. Girls and boys also want to build a different type of a stock of words. A boy has 7,000 words of a stock which he has to spell, which he has to speak. Can you imagine how many words of a stock a girl has? 32,000. And if you don't hear them, you get a bit happy. Hey. Sorry. So of course, that is we are going to be talking about intuitive learning. What you have to do is that you have to learn by walking on the road. You have to learn by observing people. You have to learn not only by books. You have to learn by interaction, through news, through newspaper, through everything possible. You have to learn. It's only that you must be having a desire to learn. And desire to learn means you have to have a curiosity. You have to manage your curiosity in a manner that you keep on learning, and that is what it is. That is going to be another part. Of course, for a civil servant, it is essential that you have to be open-minded, completely open-minded. That is, as we say, the greatest sign of intellectual mind is to be ability to hear a thought without agreeing. Listen once again. The greatest sign of an intellectual mind is the ability to engage a thought without agreeing. And that is also value, that is also civilization. You keep on listening. Unless you listen, there is no way you can go. I have repeated that thought. That's simply not possible. And there are other traits as well, language, communication. Now, if you go to know a lot of things there, and then you don't have a language and communication, there is no way that you can go to qualify for this. Even though you have a language and communication, and you're not willing to work hard, right? Work hard in a direction, focus upward, you will not go to qualify for this exam. And if even despite having all of these things, you are not able to pull linkage, you keep on working like a mule. That means it's like what you say in Hindi, lakdi ka ghoda. That keeps on rocking in the same place. And you keep on thinking that I'm doing so much amount of effort. So aage badi nahi raha. This is not going forward at all. This is largely because you're rocking in the same place. The best sign of moving forward is that means you make some mistakes, small mistakes, and then you correct it, and then you again going to make a mistake, and you again correct it, and this is how you keep on learning, and this learning keeps on going. You also have to keep on going. You also have to keep on learning. Keep on learning from everyone present here. Keep on learning from your university. Keep on learning from even a doggy as well. Now, in the last 4 or 5 years, somehow I kept a doggy. I had to adopt it. It was a compulsion. He was a Labrador. He was so affectionate, and before that, I never had any feeling towards any animal at all. He was so affectionate, and he taught me so many things that now the moment I go with animals, even though they may be lethal animals, but they are always dragging a tail in front of me, and they always love me, and that is good to be a sign. I have learned from animals. You can go to learn from nature as well. And what is the one thing that you can go to learn from nature? One thing. Only one thing. The only constant nature is change. It will keep on changing. And we keep on shouting, this is now global warming, this is global cooling, now this is drought, and this is flood. Now that is nature. This is monsoon. This is the nature of it. You also have to follow. The only thing that I can do to wish for you in this case and in this short period of time is that you become a learner throughout your whole life. My wishes and my all of this endeavor goes on to make you a learner, and to be a learner is the biggest, is the most enjoyable thing, because you're always going to be making mistakes, always making many friends, always learning new things. So keep on learning new things throughout your whole life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your thought-provoking words. It was very helpful for all the listeners who were here. Now, I would like to call Priya Bharadwaj over here to have the Q&A session for Shubham Gupta, sir. Priya Bharadwaj is a BA Economics honors student.
Good afternoon to one of our present here. My name is Priya, and I'm here to include a few questions on behalf of my mates and friends to Shubham sir. These students are attending the sessions online, and we're really excited about the great answers by you. So my question to you is, what is more dominant in this exam, your intelligence or your hard work?
I think intelligence is driven by hard work. I think it's actually pretty much both. And if you really ask me, if you're not intelligent, if you work hard enough to become intelligent. So I think hard work is the way.
Thank you, sir. I have a question by Monica. So her question is, in the next 5 years from now, where do you wish to see yourself?
A lot of people have been like persuade me to do different things, and I don't know. I'm probably working in some rural part of the country, and I don't know. And honestly, I don't think that far ahead. I'm probably planning the next 1 month or 2 months of my life, and that's pretty much how civil services life is going to be. Like, cannot plan much ahead.
Thank you, sir. So the last question is, why did you join civil services?
I joined civil services because I saw myself as being happy to do something, because be happy to do something which will allow me that scale, sort of that platform to serve a larger number of people as compared to what I would have been able to do. Like sir said in his speech that it's rare to find a combination which we get in civil services, where we get to have that kind of capacity and that kind of scale to sort of create an impact into the lives of the people. And I think that's absolutely right. So ultimately, in a nutshell, I would say I was probably searching for my own happiness, and that probably ended up having me into the civil service.
Thank you, sir. That was one clear answer. So now I ask my friend sitting here to raise questions to Shubham sir. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, who inspired you to become an IAS officer?
Yeah, I think I've answered this question multiple times. Actually, it was my father, and I mean, it's actually an incomplete answer to say that's my father. Actually, because my father actually told me one of those days when I was pretty young that I want you to become a collector when you grow up. But I think I was too young at that point of time to probably understand what a collector is and how you're supposed to be one. But I think over a period of time, when I actually started to envision my life as to what I want to do, like she asked me what I want to do after 5 years, and that time I was actually trying to envision what I really want to do after 5 years, and that really inspired me to sort of make that decision that I really want to appear for this exam. But I would definitely like to make a comment here that I only envisioned as to what I want to do, and but not how I want to do. Probably civil services is only one way of doing it, but I was never too stuck up on having just civil services in mind.
Thank you, sir. So actually, you inspired me now to become one. Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. My name is Rohit, and my question for you is, how was your life before becoming a civil servant? And like, was there any specific incident that motivated you to become an IAS officer?
So my life has been pretty interesting actually before I would say actually before I started preparing for civil services. I mean, I belong to a completely business side of family. So nobody in my family has ever done any kind of service. So I did not have that sort of exposure from the family side as to how a particular service has to be approached. So it is something which has been difficult for me to adapt in that sense, and I have grown up in a certain set of circumstances that way. So my life has not been normal. If that answers your question. And what inspired me, I just said that when I was pretty young, my father once told me that I wanted to become a collector. And then when I was making a decision, I think after 10th standard, when you have to really make a choice between science and commerce, those are the only two subjects being offered in my school at that point of time. That time, I finally, sort of made myself set myself down and made the decision for myself that I really probably might think of appearing for civil services at some point of time. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. My name is Simran. I am a law student and I'm looking forward for the UPSC exam. So my question to you is very specific. It's about the interview that you go through. So in every kind of interview, we are asked a question about, tell me about yourself. So when we answer that question, you basically look at the mindset of the interviewer, what he is expecting from you, the qualities he's expecting in you. So in this kind of an interview, what exactly does the interviewer expect from you?
I think this UPSC interview, that means very, very simple. The idea is to basically, probably gauge whether you are somebody who's willing to learn and whether you are somebody who's innocent enough. They don't probably want people with a very heavy preconceived notion in terms of what you perceive the world around you to be. Because your perceptions drastically change when you just go to the field for maybe even a couple of years. Like for example, I made a passing comment in my opening speech that when you're just preparing, you're always very skeptical of politics. Right? That's something which is always there in your mind. That this is probably going to be the most difficult part of how I'm going to handle this job, but it really is not. It's just how you start. How you start to envision it when you start to work in the field and all that. So I think that is what basically they're looking at. Like even if you do not answer a lot of the questions, even if you do not have that sort of complete knowledge about a lot of things, but you are somebody who's innocent enough, who's somebody who's willing to learn, who's willing to put in those hard work to get an understanding of different things around you, you are a perfect candidate to be in the civil.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, in your interview, I have read you did not read Lakshmikant book. I just want to know, like, why did you read it? Like, why did you keep that reading the book of Lakshmikant?
So I've basically there are two reasons actually. I'll tell you the first reason first because I think it's really a big deal in the civil service aspirants circle that if I did not read Lakshmikant, then how did I even know qualitatively? So idea is very simple that I have always been a very organic reader when it comes to UPSC preparation. By organic, I mean I always go for the NCERTs. I always go for the PAIR Act. So I read the PAIR Act of the Constitution. So basically what I'm saying is I read the Constitution itself. Instead of going for a reference book, which is going to teach me about Constitution, I read the Constitution itself. And the only reason it made it easier for me because I was preparing for law as my offense. So I was sort of getting references from different places, but that does not take away the fact that Lakshmikant is really a very good. But I just wanted to make a point that it is not important that you follow everybody else's strategy for your own preparation. And the fact that every reference book is absolutely irreplaceable when you're preparing for it. So only 2 points were important there, not the fact that whether Lakshmikant is a good book or not.
And the one more thing, like, Modi worked for 3 years in the service, and 5 years later, you see the cabinet secretary of the country.
No. It takes much more than that to sort of become the cabinet secretary of the country. That's way ahead, and I don't think I am qualified enough to become the cabinet secretary.
Hello, sir. My name is Bhushan. So my question for you is like, there might have come to situations in your life where you have to choose one of them. The cross paths are there, and actually you have to seek for one decision just based on the predictions what might have happened if I go from this side or from this side. So how you prefer to deal with this kind of situations?
It's very simple actually. So, I think I always told you that you should always look at what exactly you are trying to achieve in life. So if whatever helps you sort of be happy and stroll through that path to ultimately reach what exactly is the end result. So even in the preparation journey, I always tell aspirants that you should always try to imagine what exactly do I want to achieve and if and when I become that civil servant that I am aspiring to. That it makes life much easier because it takes the fear of failure completely out of you. It makes you much more enthusiastic and it probably motivates you to work harder a lot. So I think to answer your question, whatever makes you happier and whatever sort of pushes you a little bit more towards the end goal rather than the journey, the same sort of path which you have imagined for yourself.
Thank you, sir. That answers the question.
Good morning, sir. Question. It's my question. So why didn't you choose economics?
I think it was a stupid decision. I should have chosen economics. And I genuinely mean it because I always say this to people again that there are only two criteria on the basis of which you should choose your option. The one is that you should be absolutely interested in that subject. I am very interested in economics. And two, if you are really indifferent between two subjects, that's the only reason when you have to go back and sort of take a look at what is the scoring pattern. Why I chose optional because I was part of a coaching where everybody ended up taking law and that's why. So I think I should have taken a more important.
Thanks.
Yeah. My question is, what is the perfect age or year of college to start preparing from scratch?
I generally say that there is no right time or wrong time to start, but I think it's too early if you start dedicatedly preparing right from first year of college because I think college is extremely important for personality development and that really helps you not just in exam preparation or interviews and all that, but also in life in general. Right? So I generally suggest that you can maybe start a little bit in the penultimate year of your college, but really go into it in the final year of your college if you really think that I immediately want to give the exam after college. But one point is very important. There is no right or wrong age to enter civil service. You just keep that in mind. Like, even if you enter at 30 years of age, it doesn't make you less of an officer. And if you enter at 22, it doesn't make you a better officer than others. So that's not something which is the right perception.
So, it is okay to starting from scratch with no knowledge, but you're going to go through it.
I started with no knowledge.
Thank you.
Afternoon, sir. So, sir, since my ninth standard, I've decided to be the foreign services, IFS services. But slowly and gradually, I was a CBSE student, so I was reading NCERTs. And when 11th standard came, the lockdown came, and I was totally mentally disturbed. It was like proper time schedule was not there to study. So as of now, college time, we are having lectures from morning 9 to evening 5. So could you suggest something about time management and how to study about it?
I'll tell you my story. So when I was in audit and account service for 2 years, I prepared when I was in Shimla. And I was going through the same drill of going to the academy at 9 and only coming back around 5:30. I think what really helps you sort of put those extra efforts in that difficult lack of time is to sort of actually push yourself a little bit more and do something which makes you energetic. So I used to play. Like I'll play any sport. So I used to play for an hour or so. That really used to put me in a very good frame of mind. I used to feel very energetic. And then I'm straight away going to studying and probably I'll study for 4 hours, 5 hours at a time. Another thing which is important is to reduce the repetition in your preparation. By repetition, I mean reduce the usage of the number of reference books that you think is important because it is not. It's basically every reference book is actually talking about the same thing in different words. So just go for maximum one reference book. That is all. Also, if you really think that it is required, I don't think I have referred to many reference. I've used many reference books in most subjects, so not that important.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. My question was while preparing for the exam, how did you deal with this getting yourself distracted? Like even if you did get distracted, so how did you get back to track?
I used my distraction to get knowledge, and by that I simply mean that I was never off social media. I was always on Facebook, Instagram, and all that. And the reason is very simple because I knew that it gets very uncomfortable when you prepare, when you study for 12, 14, 15 hours at a stretch. Right? You need something. Right? So I used to watch a lot of TV, web series. I used to watch Friends a lot, and I used to actually be on social media for about an hour a day. But the only thing which I changed was I only followed things which were news channel websites, which were things where I can actually gain something out of. Even when I'm scrolling through, I know that I'm wasting time, but then I'm ultimately ended up getting some knowledge out of it. So I think it's only about tweaking your style a little bit and probably not being too hard on yourself. So I think that really helps you. And again, I genuinely believe that it is UPSC preparation is more of a mind game rather than how much knowledge you have. It's really that kind of patience and pressure that you need.
Thank you, sir.
This is what when preparing for the exam, was there any moment in your life that I should quit the exam now? So you expected to not be overcome that.
Multiple times. I think सबके life में होता है. I think it's the most common emotion that you can have probably when because this exam duration is so long. You have to prepare for 1 year. People like to prepare for 4 years. So it's very difficult to sort of get through that drill. And so ठीक है, you routine में every year you'll have like ठीक है, every 2 months you'll have one of those phases when you like I don't think I'm capable enough of going through this. But more than that, I think when I cleared this exam in the second attempt and I wrote the third prelims and I failed. So that was the time I really got so disheartened. I really almost had quit that I will probably not write this exam again. Had I not really met my batchmate, sir knows sir, teacher of Omkar, then had I not met him, then probably I would not have written the exam in the fourth attempt. So it's basically again finding the right inspiration in the right people. And I think my inspiration has always been what I really wanted to do after I cleared this exam. Not that I want to go to Labatna, not that I wanted to be an IAS officer, but what I really wanted to do after I become an IAS officer. So that's probably what has motivated me through.
Another question. How has your experience as a learner with the journey of cracking the UPSC has helped you in like your job now?
I think it's very like what sir said that once you start preparing, once you go through that drill of civil service preparation, then you'll never find yourself not acquainted with what is required to be in this world, and that is something which says a lot because you become a great learner. You tend to know a lot of things. You tend to develop that kind of intuition and perspective toward things. That really helps you out in developing other modes of achieving your own ambition. The only thing is you really have to have that hard heart. And you need to have that kind of grit and determination to see yourself through, even if you're not able to unfortunately sail through this journey of clearing this exam. Because I think the success rate is so low, and it is not even a determinant of how intelligent or how smart or how suitable you are for being in the civil services. It's a lot of luck which plays into whether you find your name in the list or not. So. Please don't be too hard on yourself, and just always focus on the end goal which you have in mind.
Good afternoon, sir. I have a question myself. The last question, I'm sorry for it. So I am a little bit confused about deciding how I should go with the book list, how I should go with the strategy. Like there are multiple things that come to my mind, and I cannot settle on one particular strategy or a time frame of how much time I give to one subject or which subject should I start. So how to settle down on one particular strategy.
To be very honest, I think it's hit and try. So basically, you try a lot of strategies, and ultimately you end up on identifying the right strategy which works for you. And that's what happened with me. Like I don't think even if I tell you my strategy, that's really going to be, I can be 100% sure that this strategy is going to work for it. But just to give you a little perspective, I think it's very important to stop making UPSC an exam of the number of hours you put in, but it's really an exam of how you're able to manage the syllabus and your own mental space. Like it's very important that way. No? So when you're dealing with syllabus which is so vast, you really need to get an understanding of how many number of revisions that I will end up doing before I actually sit for the exam, and what is the syllabus that I'm dealing with, and then probably just keep dividing the syllabus and the time in half. Like for example, you have 6 months from now, and you have 2 months syllabus to cover, then probably you reduce it down to 3 months. Like 3 months may have to do this month. Then you reduce it down to 1.5 months. Then again you reduce this down to 1 month, and likewise you come to a strategy which is, let's say, a week strategy. And then you should have that kind of flexibility with you that even if I'm not able to complete today's task, I'll probably be able to make up for it tomorrow. Because again, like I said, don't be too hard on yourself. But if I don't complete the syllabus today, then probably this will kind of burden for me. No, it doesn't work.
Thank you so much, sir. Now let us take a break from the question answer round. And now I would like to invite Charlie ma'am. Multi-talented personality. She's a news anchor, journalist, and now an actress. She recently quit India TV as a senior anchor and executive editor, and has started her new stint as an actress with popular soaps like Bhabhishi Ghar Par Hai and Habbu Ki Badal on Anki. Charul ma'am has been the only anchor in this world who has conducted a live interview on skates and for the same, she has been accredited by the Limca Book of Records. Charul ma'am has been conferred with the News Television Award in 2014 for the Best News Anchor Entertainment. She also won the My City Award for the Best Entertainment News Anchor for the year 2014 and 15. She was nominated for Best Anchor for the TV Award AVTA Asian Viewers Television Awards. Charul ma'am is going to speak on how everyone can become an administrator and civil servant. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so very much for such a lengthy, elaborate introduction. Thank you so much, Siddharth sir, for calling me here. Thank you, Shubhamji. I am honored, privileged. मैं भी एक IAS ऑफिसर बनना चाहती थी, लेकिन आज मैं एक IAS ऑफिसर से कम नहीं हूँ, because IAS, I am satisfied with myself, because मैंने जो सोचा था वो मैं कर नहीं पाई, लेकिन जो मैंने नहीं सोचा था वो मैं कर पाई. So बड़े बड़े सपने थे मेरे भी कि मैं एक IAS ऑफिसर बनूंगी, और मैंने भी ट्राई किया कि मैं पास हो जाऊं और पढ़ाई लिखाई करूं, बट मैं शायद वो जैसा कि सिद्धार्थ सर ने कहा ना कि आपको पता होना चाहिए आपकी कैपेबिलिटी के बारे में. मेरी बात समझ में आ गई थी बुक्स पढ़ते पढ़ते कि इट्स नॉट माय कप ऑफ टी, लेकिन मैं पढ़ती रही और एक IAS ऑफिसर बनने की जो तैयारी थी वो मैंने ऑलमोस्ट कर ली, बस मैं पास नहीं हुई. फिर मैंने लॉ के लिए अप्लाई किया. मैं फर्स्ट आई throughout 5 years I did the integrated course and I was first throughout. इसमें पूरा मैं कहूँगी क्रेडिट जाता है मेरी IAS की तैयारी को लेकर, क्योंकि अगर मैंने वो तैयारी नहीं की होती तो मैं आज यहाँ नहीं होती. मैंने लॉ किया, उसके बाद में सीधे न्यूज में मैंने एंट्री की एज ए मेनस्ट्रीम न्यूज एंकर, और मैंने मास कम्युनिकेशन जर्नलिज्म का कोई कोर्स नहीं किया है. तो आप जब लाइव एंकरिंग करते हैं तो आप लाइव होते हैं और इतनी ब्रेकिंग न्यूज आती है पूरे दिन में. आप न्यूज चैनल देखते हैं सब? कौन सा फेवरेट न्यूज चैनल है आपका? ओके, इंडिया टीवी. एक अलग अलग बताओ ना सर, समझ में आ रहा है. हाँ, तो ये न्यूज चैनल्स में जो दिखता है बिहाइंड द सीन, बिहाइंड द कैमरा, और भी ज्यादा little depressive also at times, it's little stressful also at times, क्योंकि जो एंकर आपको दिखते हैं ना स्क्रीन पर, उनके कान पे बहुत सारी बातें हो रही होती हैं. तो एक सिविल सर्विसेज की तैयारी में हमें सबसे पहली चीज क्या होती है? पेशेंस हमें आता है. लाइक गाइस आर सो पेशेंट, आप आराम से बैठ के हमारी बात सुन रहे हो. शुभम जी कितनी सारी अच्छी बातें बताई, सिद्धार्थ सर ने बहुत सारी बातें बताई. अब मैं तो एक एंकर हूँ, इसलिए मेरी बारी लास्ट में आई है, मुझे पता है, क्योंकि अगर मैं शुरू करती तो शायद बाकी सबकी लंच के बाद बारी आती. सो कहीं ना कहीं हम जो भी काम लाइफ में करते हैं वो हमें जरूर काम आता है, ये आप याद रखना। मेरा लिम्बा बुक ऑफ रिकॉर्ड्स में नाम आया, मुझे नहीं पता था मैं ये रिकॉर्ड कभी बनाऊंगी, सोचा ही नहीं था मैंने। ऑल ऑफ अ सडन जैसे कोरोना आ गया ना, ऑल ऑफ अ सडन ऐसे ही ये मेरा रिकॉर्ड बना। दीपिका और नील की फिल्म रिलीज हुई थी लफंगे पड़ेंगे, स्टार ओवरऑल स्टार के हेड थे उदय शंकर सीईओ हमारे मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर थे। उन्होंने मुझे बोला चावल के उसके डिक्शनरी में नो वर्ड तो है ही नहीं, ये आपकी सबकी आप याद रखना, नो नो वर्ड किसी भी चीज के लिए होना ही नहीं चाहिए। आपको सिविल सर्विस की तैयारी करनी हो, आपको खाना बनाना हो, आपको जिम जाना हो, आपको कुछ भी इम्पोर्टेंट आपके लिए करना हो या किसी और के लिए करना हो, there should never be no word in your dictionary. If you start doing it, but start telling no to people who don't matter, who are wasting your time. I'm not saying कि आजा चलो पार्टी करते हैं, हाँ no, yes, let's go. No, I'm not saying that. जहां से भी आप कुछ absorb करते हो, consume करते हो, आपको लगता है कि आप सीख रहे हो, आप खुश हो इस कंपनी में और आप जहां से सीख रहे हो, so no word should not be there. So coming back to that record of mine, I was asked by my CEO that can you skate? I said yes. और मेरा अगले दिन सुबह से 6 o'clock से I was supposed to be live for 8 hours. 12 बजे मुझे ब्रेक मिला, किसी के स्केट साइड बच्चे के किसी HR हेड के बेटे के स्केट साइड पहनने के बाद रियलाइज किया कि इसके ब्रेक नहीं लग रहे हैं। तब तक काउंटडाउन शुरू हो गया 15 मिनट के अंदर। Good afternoon, sir. Please. As I told you, I have been an anchor, so I know the norms. I know what to say, where to say, how to say. I'm Charul Malik, sir.
Good.
Yeah. So, sir, I have been telling everyone about my journey. एक IAS ऑफिसर बनने की जो तैयारी होती है, अगर आप उसमें पास ना हो तो भी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है। बस मेरा ये कहना है आपसे, आपको वो जर्नी, आपकी वो पढ़ाई लिखाई आपको हर लाइफ के हर मुकाम पर काम आएगी। आई एम टेलिंग यू दिस। तो आप ये नॉन स्टॉप करो, आप जो कर रहे हो बस एक लगन के साथ वो आप करते रहो। सो मेरा रिकॉर्ड था जिसकी मैं बात करी थी, उसका बुक ऑफ रिकॉर्ड्स मैंने स्केट किया 1 घंटे। आई वाज लाइव ऑन स्टार न्यूज, उस टाइम पे एबीपी न्यूज स्टार न्यूज होता था, 2010 की बात है। तो वी वर लाइव एंड बिलीव मी बिल्कुल फ्राइड नहीं था, बिल्कुल डर नहीं था, क्योंकि रोज आप इंट्रोड्यूस तो करते हो एक्टर्स के, बस स्केट्स पहन के इंट्रोड्यूस करते थे। वो थोड़ा सा ऐसे था बट मैंने उसमें ध्यान ही नहीं दिया। तो अगर मैं उस चीज को टेंशन बनाकर स्ट्रेस लेकर करती तो शायद मैं गिर जाती, बट मेरा रिकॉर्ड करती हूँ मैं उनका से कैंकर झुकी हुई only anchor in the entire world जो स्केट्स पहन के गिर गई, राइट? सो यू शुड टेक थिंग्स पॉजिटिवली। एक एडवेंचर है, आप लोग इतने लकी हैं कि आप इतनी अच्छी यूनिवर्सिटी में आपको मौका मिल रहा है पढ़ाई लिखाई करने का। बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग भी होते हैं जो सोच के भी पढ़ नहीं पाते हैं। So we guys are blessed. We have all the weapons with us. हमें सिर्फ उनको चलाना सीखना है और राइट टाइम पे कब चलाना है वो सीखना है, राइट? ऐसे नहीं किसी को दर मारने जाना है। तो आप जो लाइफ में कर रहे हैं वो आपको काम आएगा। जैसे मेरा स्केटिंग करना, मैंने लाइफ में कभी स्केटिंग सीखी नहीं है। बचपन में मैं ऐसी आई हैव अ ट्विन सिस्टर, तो हम लोग मिलकर स्केट करते थे घर में ऐसे ही। अब वो बचपन की चीज कब काम आई देखो कि रिकॉर्ड बन गया। अगर मुझे वो नहीं आता होता तो मैं उस तरह के लिए एलिजिबल ही नहीं होती। पहली बार तो मैं खुद ही मना कर देती, मुझे लगता मैं तो नहीं कर पाऊंगी। तो यू शुड नेवर से नो टू एनीथिंग। एंड IAS की तैयारी मैंने की, मैं IAS नहीं बन पाई, बट आज मैं बड़े बड़े लोगों के बीच में हूँ जो कि IAS की तैयारी करवाते हैं। सिद्धार्थ सर है, शुभम जो कि टॉपर है IAS के, तो आज मैं उनके साथ एक प्लेटफॉर्म पर हूँ। ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी बात हुई मेरे लिए। मुझे मेरे आसपास बहुत सेलिब्रिटीज रहते हैं, मैं इंटरव्यूज करती थी पहले, मैं सबकी बाइट्स लिया करती थी जाकर माइक ऐसे लगाकर। अब मैं बाइट्स देती हूँ, अब मीडिया मेरे पीछे होता है। सो देयर इज अ फेस। आप जैसे कि सिद्धार्थ सर ने कहा कि लर्न टू एक्सपेरिमेंट एंड लर्न टू एक्सपेरिमेंट वेयर यू थिंक दैट यू कैन डू इट। और हम सबको पता है हमारे अंदर वो क्या चीज है। मैं अभी मेरे सामने मैम है, बहुत सारे बुक्स उन्होंने लिखी हैं, सॉरी बहुत सारी बुक्स लिखी हैं आपने, तो आपको पता है आपके अंदर वो राइटर है, राइट? तो हमें खुद को पहले देखना है कि क्या ये हम कर पाएंगे। जैसे मुझे पता चल गया था मैं IAS की तैयारी कर रही हूँ, बट मैं मैथ्स सब्जेक्ट कभी नहीं कर सकती हूँ, मेरे 0 नंबर आए थे मैथ्स में, अंडा 0, बिकॉज आई वाज टू बैड इन मैथ्स। बट उसकी वजह से मैंने ये नहीं सोचा कि मैं कम हूँ किसी से। जैसे ही 10th में मैथ्स खत्म हुआ, 11th में आई वाज लाइक थैंक गॉड आई गॉट rid of maths, थैंक गॉड। एंड उसके बाद से देयर इज नो लुकिंग बैक। आई डिड लॉ, आई वाज फर्स्ट, then I got into all India radio at the age of 15 imagine 15 साल का बच्चा, और उस टाइम मैं लॉ भी कर रही थी। उसके बाद आकर मेरा कॉलेज भी थोड़ा बहुत चलता था और साथ साथ मेरा पैरेलली आई स्टार्टेड अर्निंग। So what I tell you, just chase your dreams, be positive, and सबसे बड़ी बात जो आजकल हम देख रहे हैं आप सबने, एनर्जी में कमी क्यों रहती है? We all should be happy from within. Happiness is the key. If we are happy, अगर हम खुद से खुश हैं तो हम बड़ी से बड़ी जंग जीत सकते हैं। Mark my words. And if you're not happy with the food, oh God, सीता तो कितनी देर से बोल रही है, पानी नहीं है, यूनिवर्सिटी में हॉस्टल में खाना अच्छा नहीं, just start feeling positive about everything around you. I'm telling you, you guys are, you know, it's a bliss to have everything on our platter. हमें सिर्फ मेहनत करनी है, और अगर हम मेहनत तो करनी है। इमेजिन आप जिम जाते हो, क्या आपका इंस्ट्रक्टर आपकी जगह वर्कआउट करेगा, बॉडी बनाएगा? नहीं ना, you have to do it. आप इतनी अच्छी यूनिवर्सिटी में, IIT such a big name, you guys are here, you guys are blessed. अब आपको यहाँ अगर आपको करनी है चीजें, आपके सामने इतने बड़ा पैनल है, सिद्धार्थ सर है, शुभम है, अपनी आपके साथ जर्नी शेयर कर रहे हैं। I am nothing in front of them, but I have learned through my experiences. मैं एक लॉ ग्रेजुएट थी, फिर मैं मीडिया मास कॉम मैंने बिना किए न्यूज इंडस्ट्री में आई। आई वाज देयर फॉर गुड 10 to 12 years doing live anchoring every day from political sports everything, all the beats. एक बिजनेस बीट था। 9 बजे जब मार्केट खुलती है तो जैसे 9 बजते थे प्रॉम्प्टर बंद हो जाता बैंक का, क्योंकि जब मार्केट ओपन होती है तो प्रॉम्प्टर क्या होता है, उसमें कोई लिखता है पहले कंप्यूटर पे, कोई इंसान तक 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 उसमें बैठ के लिखता है, फिर वो एंटर पढ़ता है। बट जब मार्केट ओपन होता है, बाजार हिंदी में से बोलते हैं, तो वो तक 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 करके वो लिखेगा, तब तक वो एंटर लाइव होता है। ब्रेकिंग न्यूज आती है तो कोई लिखेगा उसको, तब तक तो इतना प्रेशर होता है कुछ चांस में, और आज तक ब्रेक कर दी, हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, लिटरली बिहाइंड द कैमरा इतनी बातें होगी कि आप यूट्यूब में एक बार चले जाओगे ना, आप बोलोगे बाप रे बाप, इसमें तो कमी आएगी हम। सो एक और वो एंकर के नाम पे ईयरपीस होता है, वो ओपन होता है नहीं बात, उसको फेडर डाउन नहीं करते, फेडर अप रहता है। तो आपको एक एक बात सुन, अरे इसको उठा दिया, अरे इसको पढ़ाई लिखाई, अरे एंकर पढ़ के नहीं आएगा, अरे इतना सुस्त क्यों एंकर, अरे अर्जेंसी शो भी कर रहा है, अरे कैसा बन के बैठा है, अरे इसने कपड़े कैसे पहन रखे। सो एवरीथिंग यू आर लिसनिंग एंड यू लाइव, so you taking all that stress and you are there. तो ये पेशेंस लेवल जो है हमारा, यही हमारे काम आता है। और सिविल सर्विसेज की तैयारी में पेशेंस से काम लेते हैं हम। सिविल सर्विसेज हो या लॉ की तैयारी हो, किसी भी चीज की तैयारी होती है, whether it's about doing anything and everything, so that patience matters. So मेरी लाइफ को जो मैंने फेस किया वो मैं आपको बता रही हूँ। तो स्ट्रेस हर जगह है, हम लोग उसको अपने पे हावी होने देते हैं कई बार। जब मैं लाइव एंकर कर रही होती हूँ या कर रही थी, टॉक बैक में आवाज आती थी, तो ऐसे पढ़ रहे हैं, अब इतने हम लोग भीड़ हो गए थे ना एडिटिंग करते करते, अपना अपना लगे पड़े। इसका मतलब ये कि वी आर ऑन आवर ट्रैक, लेट पीपल से व्हाटएवर, डोंट गेट डिस्ट्रैक्टेड। आजकल हम ना अपने से दूसरों का सोचते हैं। एम आई राइट सर? एम आई राइट? सुपर मैम मेकिंग सेंस? तो आजकल हम ज्यादा दूसरे का देख के सोचते हैं, अरे उसने ऐसे किया हम ऐसे करते हैं। अच्छी बातें सीखो, अच्छी बातें करो आपको, बट कंपेयर मत करो। आई एम नॉट सिद्धार्थ सर, आई एम नॉट शुभम, आई एम चारुल। व्हाट शुभम जी कैन डू, बट आई कैन डू, माइट नॉट डू। व्हाट सिद्धार्थ सर कैन डू, मैं नहीं कर सकती, बट जो मैं कर सकती हूँ शायद वो नहीं कर सकते हैं। तो हर इंसान बहुत ही अपने आप में बहुत कुछ है। तो अपने आप को पहचानो, अपने आप को जानो, अपने आप को समझाओ कि ये मेरे अंदर मुझे करना है। और आई थिंक हमसे बेटर हमारे बारे में कोई नहीं समझ सकता है। मैं आपको बोलूं आप लॉ करो, मेरे पापा ने मुझे कहा था चारों लॉ करो, मैंने कर लिया, परस्यू ही नहीं किया। वो करते करते मैं उस फील्ड में आ गई जिसका मैंने कोई कोर्स नहीं किया, आज मैं एक एक्ट्रेस हूँ, I've never done anything related to acting. So it's about, you know, the confidence level, and never be overconfident in life. Never ever. Always respect people, always respect your seniors, always be thankful to God, be thankful to all the opportunities, work hard, be on the right track. I hope मैं ज़्यादा meditation टाइप बातें तो नहीं कर रही हूँ. तो बस मेरा इतना है, कहने का एक ही मतलब है कि आप जो कर रहे हो उसे दिल से करो. Follow your heart. Follow your dreams तो बाद में आता है. कई बार हम सपने बड़े बड़े देखते हैं, अरे मुझे तो रणवीर कपूर बनना है, मुझे रणवीर सिंह बनना है, मुझे तो सिद्धार्थ सर बनना है, मुझे तो शुभम जी की तरह IAS में टॉपर बनना है. So stop dreaming. Just start believing in yourself. because हम ड्रीम तो बहुत बड़े बड़े करते हैं, सपने पूरे भी होते हैं, पर जो हम सोचते हैं वो मैनिफेस्ट होता है. ये बात आप सबको पता है ना, मैनिफेस्टेशन वर्ड समझते हो आप लोग? What we are thinking will actually happen. मैं बता रही हूँ आपको ये होता है. I never thought कि मैं कभी एक्टिंग लाइन में आऊंगी, पर जब मैं मेरा शो बना रही थी, साफ लोग सस्पेंस में मेरे शो था, जो मैं प्रोड्यूस भी करती थी, मैं एंकर भी करती थी. रजत शर्मा के सारे प्रोमोस मैंने लिखे हैं, की टैगलाइन मैंने लिखी है. सो उसमें मैंने सर को बस एक ही बात की कि सर वी डोंट हैव दैट स्ट्रेंथ जो आज तक के पास है. वी डोंट हैव वेरी बिग एंकर्स, बिग नेम्स, लाइक यू नो बिग नेम्स. आई वोंट कोट एनीथिंग. So I said, sir, हमारे अंदर बहुत पोलाइट है, बहुत जेंटल है, बहुत संस्कारी है. So you know, let's play it around this way that हमारे चैनल का लाइन है, ना किसी को उठाते हैं, ना किसी को गिराते हैं, ना हम चिल्लाते हैं, हम शोर नहीं मचाते, शोर कम खबरें ज्यादा. Keep doing things. कई बार ज़्यादा हम उसको गा के भी बोलेंगे, अरे मैं तो ये कर दूंगा, मैं तो वो कर दूंगा. Just keep doing. Just keep following your heart. और आप believe me, आप कुछ भी कर सकते हो. And the only thing that I'm saying again and again, be happy in your life. Be confident in your life. आप किसी से कम नहीं है. कोई भी यहाँ पर जो बैठा है, I'm telling you, सब में एक ना एक ऐसी खूबी होगी जो हमें किसी से भी अलग करती है. Right? So anything you want to ask me, I think that question will be later on. Right? But still, in case there are any queries in your mind, anybody. ये जो एनर्जी लेवल है ना, बस ये हाई रखना है लाइफ में आपको, कभी उसको गिरने मत देना. अब वो एनर्जी लेवल हाई आप कैसे रखते हैं वो आप पे डिपेंड करता है. एक अच्छी कंपनी में है, आपके फ्रेंड्स हैं साथ में, आप बुक्स पढ़ते हैं, आप डांस करते हैं, आप इंस्टाग्राम पे रील्स बनाते हैं, आप कोई शो देखते हैं, आप बुक्स लिखते हैं, whatever keeps you happy, whatever keeps you busy, simultaneously आपकी ये तैयारी, आप जो भी एग्जाम की तैयारी आप करते हैं. So anybody, any question?
Yeah, I have a question. So since you mentioned that you had prepared for civil services, and then later on you had a shift in your whole life. So how did you keep up with your confidence, and how did the stage? How did you did you have a feeling that I changed my career at this point in my life? It's going to be very hard, and maybe I should not do that. Do you have any second thoughts about it? How did you keep going?
Actually, बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन एक साथ आपने किए. जब मैं तैयारी कर रही थी तब मुझे लगा था yes I can do, because peer pressure, my parents, my nanu was an IAS officer, he was MPML from Hyderabad. So my mom always, she was a professor, my mother, she used to teach Hindi in Chandigarh. So they always wanted, you know, उन्हें मुझमें एक spark दिखता था. मेरी sister है, she have a twin sister, बोलते थे ये थोड़ी सी outgoing है, वो थोड़ी सी पीछे रहती है, ये कर देगी. वो होते हैं, चलो हाई स्कूल वाले बुलाते हैं, बुक्स लेकर आए, बड़ी बड़ी चीजें, बड़ा वो काम था. तो वो तैयारी मैंने की, लेकिन वो करते करते मैंने रियलाइज किया कि इतनी बुक्स नहीं पढ़ सकती मैं, मतलब मैं थोड़ा ऐसे हो गई थी. फिर उसके बाद जब फेल हो गई मैं, मतलब मैंने एग्जाम दिया, मैं फेल हो गई. उसके आई थिंक विदिन 3-4 months लॉ का कोर्स मैंने उसके लिए एग्जाम दिया. सो आई गॉट थ्रू. सो आई थिंक वो टाइम ही नहीं मिला मुझे सोचने का कि मैंने क्यों नहीं किया या क्या नहीं किया, या मैंने सोचा ही इस बारे में ज़्यादा. तो माय डैड वाज रियली कोई बात नहीं, चलो नेक्स्ट ट्राई कर लेना. आई विश एज लिमिट नहीं होती तो मैं अभी भी इतना ग्रास्प कर लिया और इतनी मोटिवेट होती शायद मैं आज IAS का कि प्रिपरेशन दोबारा कर सकती थी। तो इतना मैंने सोचा नहीं, मेरी सोच बहुत पॉजिटिव है, मैं बहुत नेगेटिव पे हूँ, मैंने कभी से नहीं लगी। एंड आई वाज प्रैक्टिकली डूइंग सो मेनी थिंग्स। सो आई थिंक मेरे पास वो टाइम नहीं था सोचने का भी कि मैंने क्या पाया या क्या खोया। आई वाज गेनिंग एंड एट द एज ऑफ 18 आई स्टार्टेड वर्किंग विद ऑल इंडिया रेडियो। आई थिंक दे वाज, मैंने कभी मुझे एक मोमेंट नहीं लगा ऐसा जब मैंने कुछ भी ऐसा सोचा हो कि ओ शिट ये नहीं हुआ या ये ऐसा होना चाहिए था। आई वाज जस्ट डूइंग थिंग्स। So giving अपने आप में just keep flowing with whatever you are inclined towards. Keep flowing. Definitely you gonna achieve success. कई बार हम ज्यादा सोचते हैं, ये सोचने की बीमारी भी होती है बहुत। क्या करेगा, कैसे करेगा, कौन सा कुछ करेंगे, 1 साल निकल गया, 2 साल निकल गए। Just keep doing. आपको जो ठीक लगता है ना, आपको अंदर से आवाज आती है एंड आप पढ़ो, सबकी जर्नीज पढ़ो। आजकल तो इतना कुछ है, इतना ओरिएंटेशन है, इतना कुछ है, इतने बड़ी बड़ी क्लासेस हैं, सिद्धार्थ सर यहाँ पर आए हैं, शुभम जी आए हैं। सो आई विश उस टाइम पर शायद हमें ऐसा कुछ लिखा होता तो हम भी IAS ऑफिसर होते। बट आई एम हैप्पी नहीं बने, क्योंकि जो बने उनके साथ आ जाके बैठ गए ना, और हम कुछ और कर रहे हैं हमारी लाइफ में। सो एंड आई एम हैप्पी अबाउट इट एंड आई एंजॉय ईच एंड एवरी मोमेंट। जो भी मैं काम कर रही हूँ, जो भी मैं स्क्रीन पर रहती हूँ, या मैं अभी मैं भाभी कर शो कर रही हूँ, तो मजा आता है और ये सब आपको काम आता है। ये भी जो तैयारी की है, हम डिबेट शोज में होते हैं, तो कोई टॉपिक आता है तो ब्रीफिंग नहीं होती है कान में, आपके कान में कोई ब्रीफिंग नहीं। प्रॉम्प्टर में एक सिंपल चीज लिख के आती है कि Conclave is going on at Amity University. This is the timing. Siddharth is the guest. Shubham is the guest. Charul Malik is the invitee. They are speaking. Dean sir is there. Lecturer are there. Students are there. ये लिखाएगा. But when you start debating on a particular topic, at times there are things कि उस पर moment पे होता है, कुछ ऐसा नहीं कि prepared होता है। छोटा सा मैं आपको किस्सा बताती हूँ। Mondays are called dry days. News में dry days Monday, क्योंकि संडे को पार्लियामेंट बंद होता है। संडे को बहुत ऐसे चीजें कम होती है, इंसिडेंट्स कम होते हैं कि नेक्स्ट डे शुरू से 6 बजे से उसमें कोई डिबेट हो पाए। तो आई वाज लाइक मंडे है, ठीक है, आई वाज पार्किंग वन डे, मंडे है, या काउंटर बनेंगे बैठ के गए। I reached back. It was live from 6 a.m. in the morning. I got up at 4. I used to get up at 4 a.m. every day for 8 years. I got up at 4 a.m., reached my office, got my makeup done. In the middle of that makeup, what was going on, I got a call from PCR, panel control room from PCR. अरे जल्दी आ जाओ, ब्रेकिंग न्यूज आ गई है। मुझे लगा ऐसे ही कोई ट्रेन एक्सीडेंट होता है उस टाइम पे, कुछ ऐसा हुआ होगा, ऐसे नहीं, जल्दी आओ, उसामा बिन लादेन डाइड। 2 सेकंड में नींद खुली ऐसे, लाइक ना ऐसे सो रही हूँ, मेकअप हो जाएगा, नींद में उनके आ रहे हैं ऐसे नींद। फिर मैं आई, जैसे ही बैठे, प्रॉम्प्टर होता है ब्लैक, मतलब कुछ नहीं लिखा हुआ था प्रॉम्प्टर में, क्योंकि जो प्रॉम्प्टर पे टक 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 लिखने वाला था वो भी नहीं आया था। और जो न्यूज लिखी हुई थी रनडाउन में, वो कल की पुरानी से न्यूज की रात की, तो उसका तो मतलब नहीं था। प्रॉम्प्टर वाज ब्लैंक एंड आई वाज लाइक with wide open eyes, I was like अंदर से क्या हो गई, बस इतना पता है वो आतंकवादी है, इसके अलावा उनको क्या पता है, किसी और क्या पता है नहीं ना। और मुझे उन्होंने लाइव कर दिया, फिर मेरे से 5:30 से लाइव। I was like recollecting क्या था ये। अच्छा, इनपुट्स नहीं आ रहे हैं, रिपोर्टर सोए पड़े हैं, पाकिस्तान में जहाँ पर हुआ था वहां से कोई इनपुट नहीं है, कोई मतलब नथिंग। ANI का आपने फीड सुना होगा, ANI का फीड आता है, वो भी नहीं था। बस मैं बोलना स्टार्ट किया, मतलब कैसे इज्जत बचाई अपनी। बट दैट कॉन्फिडेंस वर्क फॉर मी, बिकॉज कोई भी एंकर है, कोई स्क्रीन पर है, उसमें आप यू हैव टू साउंड कॉन्फिडेंट एंड यू हैव टू बी ऑन द मार्क, ऑन द ट्रैक, स्पीकिंग फैक्ट्स। So I somehow managed for 10-15 minutes, right? It was a nightmare. So what I'm telling you कि हर जगह ups and downs आते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है कि किसी फील्ड में अभी हम सिद्धार्थ से पूछेंगे, शुभम जी से भी आप पूछोगे, तो कहीं ना कहीं ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं जो हमें दूर से बैठ कर लगता है कि यार इनकी लाइफ कितनी परफेक्ट है ना। तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। पर तो हम बात करके इस टॉपिक से हमने शुरुआत की है, सिविल सर्विस तैयारी कैसे काम आती है, एक बेस जरूरी होता है आपकी लाइफ में। इस तरह के एपिसोड, इस तरह के सिचुएशन को स्मूथली हैंडल करने के लिए। So I think this is the be. And you guys stay happy, be positive, stop comparing yourself with others, and keep doing the hard work that you guys are doing. Be on the track and stay motivated. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We definitely understand that we just need to keep going ahead and we just need to look at the positive side no matter what happens. And also we need to be very much satisfied and content with what we are doing in life. So thank you so much for that. Now I would like to invite Honorable HOI, Dr. Deepak Padar sir on the stage.
First of all, I welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor for facing the opportunity. He is very busy. The assistant director. Presently working in Gadchiroli, it's the eastern part of Maharashtra. It's a Naxalite area. So he's a very calm person. I was wondering from tackling the situation in that area. We also have cases that actually now I request Vice Chancellor.
I think you all will be very feeling hungry now. Anyway, I'm really very happy to stand amongst you, to sharing the dice with the Star Wars. So, Siddharthi, Shubhamji, and Sal. And when Navaldaji was just coming with this proposal, I immediately said yes, and he did not know what was the background of me getting this. I should say my personal story here. Now, why do I relate to this particular? While I was doing my undergraduate, whose name was Vivekanand, and he started preparing for civil. And we both shared the room, and in government colleges, this based on the alphabet. And finally, this guy is a late night. Every time he used to burn the night oil and switch on the lights, and he will start preparing for civil. So for me, I am confident. Even a small streak of light, I don't see. So then finally, I didn't have any other choice when I started reading something. Then he only suggested me, why don't you also? So I remember taking psychology and writing the exam during that time. I remember there was one big book called Eating in the Sense. And technically we sent work to some of the related to get there. And then finally, we both wrote for the first time, and nobody qualified to. So then I thought, okay, the day is going to leave out. But again, he said that with double C, then I didn't have any other choice to go for the next attempt too. Then I took psychology and reading the unique quintessence, leaving out. I started reading whatever I could read. And to your astonishment, to my astonishment, I cleared the level. Prelims was clear. Then I thought, okay, I told him that if I have clear prelims, it means that I am an IAS officer. Then I will stop. Okay, so that is my goal there, because I didn't want to become an IAS officer at all. Not because that I can, but technically I don't want to fail. That is the only. But finally, we went to the next exam. Okay, fine. Where now you need to take two subjects. So I took my mother tongue, which is Tamil, and I took psychology. And we started eating anything totally fine. And I was little happy to take vernacular Tamil because I was very clever. I thought whoever is going to correct the paper will be from my kids. So they will give me mark so that I can clear. But it was on after. And to your astonishment, I cleared the second level. But that was not at all possible, I should say. But somehow we both cleared. Then interview came. And I remember we took a room in Sajan Road there in New Delhi. And we were seriously preparing for the interviews, coaching, this and that. During those times, my father was no more, so I didn't have much of money. So I was very conservative in doing those things. Then finally the interview date came, everything was done and the results came. And my roommate, Vivekanand, yes, we can say IAS also. So this I am telling in 1996 batch. No, 1995 batch. But I was seeing my name where it is there and finally those things come back. So I am selected for something I did not know at all. All I know is IFS, IPS, IAS, that's it, right? But there are the very big list, they have put me into PTS, Pondicherry Police Service. I think you people will be able to understand. This is during you are a police. And you look at me, if I am going to be a police, nobody will respect me, right? So then I thought, it's not going to be good at all. Then I went to my mom and she said that nothing to you do your job and just forget about this. So that is my journey. And you have to know that all my 5 close friends, very close friends, are all IAS. One is a finance secretary in the state of, and another 3 people are in Tamil Nadu care, and another one is in Delhi care. So this nostalgia every time comes when I see IAS house, right? So that is why I made it a point. I should say, how will that see? This is a story behind me coming here and seeing through the great stalwarts who have come up with life. Because IAS is we need brains, but we need a lot of this here. That is what I think. We have Siddharthi here to direct you. We have a proven example here. So these people will be best people, and I really thank you three to take time to come here to us and give your peace of mind and your experience. That is very great. I have one of my classmates who is doing the same thing. I used to tell every time, what are you going to gain with this? Where do you want to go to study circles and then IAS and then give this kind of extra courses? And those days we'll have WhatsApp group and they will put me into, they will dissect one important brain thing into different facets of life. And then you'll be very tired. Right? But that is so energy for them. And I really thank that kind of a passion you people have. And I really thank Charles. I was just looking at the flyer. Then what is this ma'am going to do? So I asked how is that is she an IAS officer? Then she said no. But while sitting here, I was just totally magnetized by the way she was talking and getting the practical outlook in which we go. That is the only aspiration that people would ever get. And I pray God and well wishes to people that Americans also should become how they be, right? So if you are going to become an IAS officer later on, okay, don't come and give any memos here. You can come here and be with us and be happy. And I really congratulate the initiative taken by Rahul Gandhi and the school. This has to be there. I certainly should say that this kind of a key elevated level has to be there. And thank you very much for all three for giving a time out and coming here. We look forward to your interaction. And Rahul Gandhi was just telling, he is so calm and quiet. See, only calm people do great things, right? So you need to understand that. Because the reason I'm telling you, our Rahul Gandhi is also so calm. Thank you.
So much, sir. Because, actually very much astonishing to know about your journey. We never expected that, and it was really motivational to know that even if you are not thinking about it as of now, you get into civil services. And like you said, you had no idea that you would do it one day, but you just went on doing it, and you have achieved a lot, even when it was not your goal. Like that, you also need to definitely put in and be able to set it. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Honorable Registrar Sir to come and speak.
After Vice Chancellor.
Now we can have the next session, question and answer session. I would like to invite Anna Chana. She is the liberal arts student, fourth semester. Let's come to the next session. I would request all the audience to address your questions now to K. Siddhartha and Jamila. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Ananya Mathusanya, and I feel very honored to ask questions to so, starting with my question, my first question is: what is the role of So, moving on with the question and answer session. My first question to K. Siddhartha is: what is the role of civil services in democracy?
That looks like a pretty good academic question, right? I'll simplify for all of you. Good. See, when you go on to pick up a person to represent you, you give a mandate. In the general sense, that is called as election. And you go on to choose a person who will go to represent you. Now, the person who has been chosen to represent you, he makes some promises. He only dreams of something. He dreams like for example, one of those politicians in Bihar, he dreamed that he will want to give buffaloes free of cost. Now, IAS officers started asking, why not computers? He said that it's not your right? You are not here to ask this question, why computers? Right? I said buffaloes, so buffaloes are to be given free of cost. Now, those poor people like Shubhama, they had to give buffaloes free of cost. So the role of IAS officer is implementing the promises that have been made by the so-called politician, policy makers. That's number one. Second is a step ahead, and a step not only ahead, that is higher up. That is, if we want to make a certain type of policies for the government, some suggestions, what can go to do good for the country, what we do is that we go to take a feedback. Now, good number of IAS officers, civil servants, are into feedback. Some of them are, of course, doing a paperwork, doing a variety of type of things. Now, they go on to be interacting with them. There's a complete hierarchy of interaction. Interacting with their PCs officers, then with the ground, with the British people, and they all want to get a feedback. They accumulate it. Then after having accumulated it, they draw certain conclusions out of it. And these are the conclusions that are sent to the civil servants. And the civil servants then again pick up a variety of type of conclusions from here and there. Simplify it that this is the policy that will be good for the country. So they go on to help policy makers to also frame policies. And the third part that is about governance. That is that if the government goes into think that is that we have to make the coastline of Maharashtra secure. So they say that it has to be secure. No one has to come there. Now, whichever way, in whatever manner that the civil servants may go to be, they have to secure the whole of the coastline. And then they will go to start interacting with all the departments, in this case, what all that is required to be done, how much of finance, what sort of technology, if the technology is going to be required, then they will go to connect with ISRO, take satellite images, and then the entire integration work, coordination work is started. And that is why they are sometimes, they used to be called as steel frame in the British people. They are still to a large extent because it's like, let's say if we have to conduct classes in Amity, we cannot go to conduct it without teachers, right? And someone has to manage the teachers, someone has to take into account that the teachers are not dissatisfied, the teachers are always happy, they're always studying, always people doing something. So someone has been given the task of managing it, administering it. That is where the role in democracy goes. Was it simple?
Yes, sir. That was a very nice answer.
But I never gave an academic answer too. Okay.
My next question to you is, sir, what are the common mistakes that students make while preparing for the exam? Something that you have observed while mentoring students?
The most common mistake that I have observed that has been following a review box. That is one. Not taking the right decision because they don't think that they are taking a decision, and that is invariably wrong. If someone has to study for, I just want to give you my example. I think that will go to solve it. I have been a student of physics. So what I did in the first attempt was my subjects were physics and geology. Right? Geology because I was interested in earth sciences, astronomy, everything. So someone said geology because there is nothing like astrophysics. So I was completely bombed in physics. Largely because there were certain sections in physics that I was not having a liking for, like for example. And this was one section that I have an abhorrence for some. I was very good in thermodynamics, very good in astrophysics, very good in nuclear physics, but not in this one. Now, next attempt, people said that why don't you go to change your subject? Now, imagine. They never knew about my interest, they never knew about anything of my type, and they advised me. Why did you go to take geography? It's a very popular subject there, and you can go to change the other subject as well. So what I did was that I took the two subjects, geography and geology, right? In the next season, what happened was that there were a lot of questions in geology that took place, and they have never been asked at all, and something like some 40-50 years back, these were the type of questions. So this time my geology was wrong. I will left with geography now. I've already given 2 attempts, and I come out the main examination. Now the third attempt, again there were some people who had started advising me, and I started following that advice. And what they said was that now it's a better subject is going to be that you can go to pick up a psychology. It's a very good subject, it's in range, right? And that you are a very good mind reader and you can go do very well. Now, mind reading is something based on observation. There's nothing to do with psychology as a subject. So I changed my subject once again. So it went to become geography and psychology, right? That was third. I failed again. Okay. Now in the fourth attempt, they said that see, geography is something that is tormenting you, and it's a subject that you have got yourself specialized into. Because how is it that you can go to get something like some 75% marks the type of marks that generations of Shubham men have thought of. It was 75, 450 marks out of 600. And these type of marks you don't want to be getting in civil service because out. Absolutely not possible. So you go on to get that much marks and then you go to get something like 280 marks as well. So something is wrong. You may be too specialized. So you change the subject and you go to pick up Sanskrit. So I pick up psychology and Sanskrit. Right? Again, I did. Largely because I was following the advice. I was following a rumor. I was following the advice. Now, what happened to me now is a product of all those mistakes that I made. So there was no subject that was not left that I never studied. So I can go to teach. I have taught students for physics in civil services. I have taught them with zoology as well. I have taught them international relations. I have taught them geography. I have taught them culture as well. And civil services teaching is a very, very, very specialized and difficult job. It's like you're going to bring me a mechanical engineer and I will go to do a complete surgery of it because I'm completely abreast of everything that is happening there in terms of engine mechanism, in terms of the new type of technology that had come on rail diesel injection, in terms of the McPherson strut suspension. Some of the mechanical engineers who are going to be there, they may be able to understand my language and the new type of air suspension that has taken place and what exactly is the role of vacuum blocks in those things. So this is the advantage that I want to be having. So the first thing and the most daring mistake students going to make is follow the advice of their friends. They are not capable of giving an advice, and this is what they go to do. That's the biggest mistake. It's like they say, asking you if you are my friend, and हमें कौन सा subject लेना चाहिए? आज ये पिछले 10 मिनट देखकर कोई subject बता देगा. That's one part. हमें कौन से book पढ़नी चाहिए? And there are so many of these books that you can go to take a look at. Anything that goes into soup. There's nothing like the best in civil service. No best book, no best teacher, no best institute, nothing. I mean, anything that goes into soup you that can go to work on yourself. Now, associated with it is it's a rumor-driven or so-called market also. They start following rumors, and when they start following rumors, they go into in a what we call herd mentality. All of them start doing the same thing. Now, in a class of 400 students, you know that none of these students can go to qualify. Right? When you start teaching them, but still you have to sometimes teach. This largely because a good number of them came following a herd mentality. That's another part. That's the third thing. And there can be many of them. But I think that the students should want to get depressed. I have that by too.
Right, sir. Because a very valuable advice.
Yeah, okay.
My next question to you is, any study strategy that you would like to give to the UPSC aspirants?
See, it's a very long topic. It's a real long topic. It's like asking, how is it that you can go to drive a car? I say that is, okay, turn to the seat. Pick up the steering, put your leg on the clutch, another on the accelerator, and drive it. Is it so? Is it so? Do you know how to drive a car? Is it so? Is it simple? No, because sometimes if there is a mismatch between clutch and accelerator, you may go to down to the next one, right? You may go to turn the steering wheel. Something wrong is going to happen. But in brief, in general, I will always go to suggest that is first look for your personality, improve your personality, so that you don't make a mistake. In a sense, prepare for the personality test, prepare for the interview first. That's first thing. Because when you go to do that, because that is, when you have, supposing you have passed both of these stages, and then you find yourself ultimately that you're not fit for the interview. Largely because you talk too much, you talk in extremes, your language is not good. Maybe that by your language, the person can go to misunderstand a lot of things. Right? That's a possibility. So written language is something different and oral language is something different. Interview is essentially done for the purpose of testing you as a balanced personality. As a balanced personality, and you have to understand whether you are balanced or not. It's like, I'm just going to give you an example. It was one of my batchmates. He was super intelligent. He was the most intelligent among our batchmates. He was IIT, he was IIM, He qualified in the first attempt. He went on to be part of Indian Foreign Services. Next time, he thought of appearing in and improving his rank. So he went on for IAS as well. He was asked in the board, why is it that you want to leave IAS? Because normally, this is something that normally students don't want to do. It's like almost equivalent, almost like that. He said, I don't know in which country I'll be posted. I don't want to get posted in African country. Now, his entire interview was gone. It is not balanced. Now, you can be posted anywhere. We can be posted in Arunachal Pradesh. Even Shubham never knew whether he was going to be posted in Arunachal Pradesh or Nagaland or Manipur or in Maharashtra. And of course, he got Maharashtra. That's good to be good. Maharashtra is fortunate to have him also right there. And of course, this is a different part. So, when students go on to do these type of things, then they want to start making mistakes. The first thing is understand your personality. Whether you're balanced or not, whether you have a good language or not, whether you can go to understand and perceive certain things in the right manner. Secondly, come to mains. For the mains purpose, you have to have a language. Supposing you are a very hard worker and you keep on mugging, and then go to pass the prelims exam. And you break records for passing into prelims exam, qualified once, twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times, so that your name is also in the book of records like that, right? But then that will not going to help you. Ultimate purpose is that if you have made an effort, make it complete. So you have to have a very good language. Language in the sense not every language. That means something that you can go to express. Also, you can imagine and you can go on to translate some of those concepts that you go on to get from maybe from me, maybe from anyone into your own words. A good number of candidates are not able to transform the concept that they have into their own words. Right? Shubham is an exception, and you don't want to draw a conclusion out of it because anyone who goes on to get a 6th rank is going to be an exceptional student, generally, right? But then a good number of his batchmates are known to me. Of course, they have been my students also, right? Shubham came only for interview to me in this case. And I know what exactly are the disadvantages, just talking about that, at least 1 or 2 of them, and why is it not that they couldn't go to qualify. And I know that is despite the fact that I keep on saying that you do this, translate your imagination into your language. Now this requires a job. This is the job. And then other than that, you also require to integrate a lot of things, analyze a lot of things. If you don't have an analytical capability, there is no way you can go to qualify for it. And also, that is you must be able to write very fast, legibly, clearly, in a simple language, because you don't have any time to think. You just see the question and you start writing with it. Now you don't even have a time to think over it. That is the type of assumption that is now. That means you have to be very, very sharp and very well prepared. Now, all in all, having said that, I will always going to say that it requires hard work, it requires a smart work, and it requires a good amount of thinking about yourself. And then for the prelims, it is about observation, it is about practice, it is really hard work. It is really hard work. So I always going to prefer that you prepare it from behind. And this is what exactly has been my experience after. I am not going to say that I have made 1,600 IAS officers. I am only going to say that there was some amount of my hand in making them. And there is not even a single district in the country where my students are not there. Yesterday when I landed on the airport, sir, how यहाँ पर? Sir, I'm in customs and excise. अच्छा किस batch के हो? Sir, remember it was 2012 batch. ठीक, आपने एक बार हमें क्लास से निकाल दिया था. अच्छा वो कुछ बदमाशी क्या हुआ तुमने? So that is how it is. So even I don't know how many students are there, but then with something like some 1,500, you are going to find students here almost everywhere. So that is the experience based on it. I always go to believe that if you have a personality, if you have an attitude, if you have a thinking, you can qualify for any examination because you know how to take good decisions and how to translate those decisions into action.
Thank you, sir. Now I request the audience to raise their questions for Siddhartha sir.
Thank you.
When it's the right time to like start with the current affairs and like start with
Anytime, every time. You have to eat current affairs, drink current affairs, sleep current affairs, bath with current affairs. You have to have a boyfriend of current affairs, girlfriend of current affairs, everything. Settled? Thank you. Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, somewhere I'm also trying to plan for MPSC, so I'm a little bit confused between preparation for UPSC and side by side for MPSC also. So
MBA.
MPSC, state
Okay.
service.
MP.
Yes. So could you suggest something like how to manage both of them or how to tackle?
Manage one of them, right?
No,
No, manage one of them, both of them. Manage UPSC, right? MPC will be done automatically also. Because that is at a much more higher level, right? Now, there's other alternative. There are only two alternatives. There is first get yourself settled, become qualify the PCS examination first, okay, and then thereafter, after having got settled, you will start going back.
Or somewhere or the other in my family, also my father is an ESO in state service. So somewhere or the other, I am having that kind of environment which I am likely to be more attracted towards MPSC before rather than UPSC.
No, see, we are living in a time when even if you go to qualify for MPSC and you go join the provincial civil service, okay, you never know after 20 years and you will be an IAS officer by that time. You never know that part. You have to just keep on doing some good work. And I let you know, now anyone can go to become an IAS officer. Anyone. That is, the government has made this provision that even if you're in the private sector, they are inviting that you can go to become a joint secretary and much more faster than maybe an IAS officer can go to become a joint secretary that way. And if you're very, very good, they will go to invite you and they'll go to make you joint secretary or an IAS officer, despite the fact that you have not passed the examination. But for that purpose, you have to prove that you are actually good. Okay. Maybe I'm an old person, I don't want to hear that much.
So my question is, can you advise a person who is starting from scratch?
Yes. First is language. Second is imagination. The third is basics. All the basic, that means by the time you go to think of appearing for civil services, every school book that you have studied that must be followed, and everything that you want to say, you are able to say it in your own words, and anything that you are able to imagine, you are able to put it in it, and you require to have a interest in current affairs like this very good.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Like you said that anyone can become an IAS.
Sorry.
You said that anyone can become an IAS officer.
Now. Yes.
So not everyone comes from an economically stable background. So not everyone can afford coaching. So like can with student can add like any kind of level for without coaching.
Yes, definitely. See, I let you know, I told you that is, I don't go to be having a so-called formal school, right? ultimately, my parents said that he had to qualify for the 10th examination. I went to the village and I saw that the topper of the school was riding a buffalo and he was singing the song. I said, now I can go to pass the examination. Right? So that's one part. Now, if a person from my background, I started learning English from 8th standard onwards when I was 13 or 14 years of age. Because then I was introduced for the first time to the English alphabets, right? And now my Hindi is also good, my English is also good, and not once, not twice. Of course, a good number of people who are my batch, they're civil servants. They also don't go on to talk to me on subjects on which I happen to know, right? That's one part. So anyone can go to do anything if I can go to do it, number one. Secondly, there is background and other things don't matter at all. I have known cases it was not my student, but then she was 2014 and 15 back there. She was a girl from Bangalore, maybe Shubham will go to help me recall her name. She was living in a slum. She was living in a slum, right? Her house was in a shanty town, it was a shanty building. She never had any formal coaching. She never had any formal introduction towards internet age as well, and still she got third rank in the examination. I go to give you one example of my student, and that is the oldest example that we have. 2004 batch. It was 2004 batch, and there was a boy whose father was a Havaldar. Of course, he was not from a very good family. Now, he was from Hindi, he was from Uttar Pradesh, and he started preparing for the exam, and he was finding it very, very, very difficult to go ahead with it. So what we did was that we said, hey, you come attend the classes. Of course, he attended the classes and other things as well. He ultimately is the topmost ranked Hindi student so far, third rank in India, right? So far, no one has come third rank from Hindi at all. Ajay Kumar Mishra, I believe, he is in right now in IB, the Intelligence Bureau, and his only qualification was his dedication and devotion. And he was very, very simple in mind. Now, how is it that simplicity is important? Simplicity of thinking is important because when you are simple in thinking, and what you think, what you say, what you mean is in complete congruence. You don't have a cluttered mind. Only cluttered minds go to forget. Simple minds don't forget so easily at all. So we require to have simplicity of thinking, simplicity of preparation, and of course, I think that you are very determined as well. With this type of determination, everything can go to happen to you. And even if it is that you're going to find any difficulty, let me know. We're going to be part of it. Okay.
I have a question for actually all three of you.
Okay.
Starting with this. So, because sometimes we get very much stress and we're not able to practice even. So, for example, we have assignments, exams, we have to still balance and study. So, how do we actually manage stress? Is my question. And considering Shubham sir is like a very good service, he was a very good, but was very. How do you manage stress?
All three people manage the stress.
Yeah, so I will just mention how stressful it is.
She manages the stress much more than us. I'll let you know that, right? I'm the only person who don't manage it. I go to put other people in the stress. But because I want to put other people in the stress, that's why I have to do something. There are certain things. While you are under stress, you can go to do a lot of things. The first thing, phone a friend. For what? Getting to know you can do kya. Now your stress is also going to be a buster, and you will get to know what is happening. Do a purpose. Okay, that's number one. Second is that if you are under stress, don't do anything at that point of time. Everyone comes under stress. There is no one on this earth that has not come under stress, and everyone has risen to the topmost rank. Stress goes on to build your strength. If you don't want to be having this strength, there is no way you can multiply it. It's like, see, how much weight will bring this one? Half a kg? I can do this. Right? Is it easy for me to hold? Right? Only with 2 fingers? Maybe here I have. Okay. How long can I go to hold it? Half. Okay. 3 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours, 1 week, right? That means the more I go to hold, the more strength that I build. So when you go on to manage your stress for a longer period of time, then you become stronger, then more stronger. Stress is not always bad, right? You have to take care of the fact that the stress level doesn't go to build cortisol around your abdomen so that you go to lose your shape. That's the only thing I go to suggest for girls, right? Stress should go on to also affect you so that you started using a foul language. Stress shouldn't go to affect you to such an extent that you start forgetting things. But then everyone has a way to manage stress on their own, right? If I have to manage it, it will not be the same as that of how Shiva will go to manage it. It will not be the same as that of how Charan will go to manage it, right? So everyone, I cannot go to say that this is the only way that you have to manage stress because everyone is endowed in a different manner to manage it. That is, I let you know, if there is some amount of a holiday, then good number of people say, "Aaj kuch naya khaya." What I do is, I don't eat at all. Because I'm not foodie, right? The last thing that I want is to eat because it puts me under stress. So that is my way. So you have to find your own way what is going to make you happy. I think you can go to join a gym, you can go to eat a lot, that is going to make you healthy, wealthy, and wild. You will not be a hawa mal like that.
I think I don't have anything to add really because I think I've covered all this. But it's actually pretty unique as to how you manage your stress. In my case, like I said, I used to play sports. I used to sort of scroll through social media and I used to talk to friends. I used to go out with them. So it can be multiple ways of doing the same thing, but yes, it's like the ultimate it's about how you can keep your calm and everybody again has a unique way. So
आई थिंक सिद्धार्थ सर ने और शुभम जी ने बता दिया है बट हर एक का एक अलग स्ट्रेस लेवल रहता है हर एक अलग लेवल से कोप करता है उससे और मेरी लाइफ में स्ट्रेस लेवल मैंने लाइन ज्यादा रहा है जिसमें हम दिखा भी नहीं सकते छुपा भी नहीं सकते बता भी नहीं सकते बट हमें चलते रहना है उस फ्लो में सो व्हाट आई डू इज आई क्लोज माय आईज फॉर few seconds and I thank God कि ये तो कुछ भी नहीं है दुनिया को देखो कितने बड़े बड़े स्ट्रेस है और जो कोरोना का टाइम हमने देखा है अभी आई थिंक उसने तो हम सबको बिल्कुल प्रिपेयर कर दिया है सिविल सर्विसेज के लिए या हर चीज के लिए कर दिया है बिकॉज वी हैव सीन द वर्स्ट गुड इज येट टू कम सो जस्ट थिंक अबाउट दिस दैट वर्स्ट हैज हैपेंड गुड इज येट टू कम बी पॉजिटिव हैव अ गुड फ्रेम ऑफ माइंड हैव अ गुड सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर स्माइल you know pass on that smile to others I think you know just being just having a smile on your face nothing can be better than relieving stress right so this is my way of relieving stress go to gym do what you like go for a walk eat if you're a foodie don't eat like Siddhartha said he's not a foodie so do whatever you wish to do and be happy I think stress hota hai it's a part and parcel but don't let it sit on your head right so just be simple as he rightly said be very simple have clarity of thought that ये तो छोटी सी बात है यार कुछ नहीं होगा देख लेंगे बड़े बड़े स्ट्रेस देखेंगे just relieve just keep relieving it don't have a pile on so that later on it's very difficult to just getting rid of it so I think this is how I manage
See, I used to have a lot of stress when I used to be taking classes for civil service, right? Because the same topic, same students, 5 batches, 6 batches, and repeating it was very mundane. So can you imagine how is it that I would have managed that part? And that went for 14 years on a top, right? Sorry? No, you can't go to keep calm in front of all of those students who were brought from alien planets. Right? Imagine, I used to tease them, right? And after teasing them, I found that they also, after some time, they also started teasing me. So we went on to have a bet. So one of the bet that our one of the matches went on to make was, they said that, sir, we can go to do everything. Sir, you can go to do everything, but you can't don't go to dance. In case our dance we can't and let's make a promise, right? Promise. It's free of cost completely. I said, okay, no, I can go to do much better, right? The match was ending, and thereafter we're not going to meet. Now they started thinking that now he has made a promise, and again we are defeated, right? Because I made a promise. Okay? They said, okay, sir. So we are not going to meet, but anywhere when we are going to meeting, we are going to be sending at least some 20, 30 students. They are going on a trip of sorts. If I go on to, if anyone goes on to meet you somewhere outside the class, you have to dance. Again, let's make a promise. Who goes on to know whether I did or not? Now, what happened was that they made a group and they went for a trip to Ladakh, right? And they were coming via Delhi, and they were going to Bangalore. Okay. Now, all of a sudden, they caught me on Delhi airport. Right? I never thought. And that is where they started shouting. Now do it. One of them started playing music as well. I said, "Ki idhar to gayi hai." Right? But then we manage it. But then the students are like that. You are a student, and if students can come under stress, then anyone can come under stress. Right? Your job is not to be under stress at all because you don't have anything to lose. You have so much amount of time. Imagine, I don't have time on my side. I don't have age on my side. I don't have energy on my side. Now you have everything on your side. You should be happy. Right? I think we can go to end up here. Okay? Good girl. Thank you.
I have a question for Charlie ma'am. So, I really appreciate your positive attitude towards everything. I want to know what is the factor that motivates you and keep going?
Factor that has been motivating me and still motivating me is my upbringing. I think I always remember my mom. She's not there with us. But I remember each and everything she used to do. She was a multitasker, and I think me and my twin sister, we have learned together. घर में हम लोग ये सारे काम करते हुए देखा मम्मी को और हमने वो सारे काम किए आज की डेट पे मैं बहुत हैप्पीली बोल सकती हूँ कि I can do everything from झाड़ू पोछा to answering live to acting to driving the car to skating live to having a bungee jumping or anything like that. So I'm happy. I'm not saying I'm more confident about it, but I think एक motivation होता है जो मेरी घर से आया, मेरी कंपनी से आया. सिद्धार्थ सर से मैं 10-15 मिनट भी अगर बात कर लेती हूँ एक महीने में एक बार, so I get motivated. So I think मेरे आसपास जो लोग रहते हैं मुझे negativity बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं है. Please block people out of your lives who are negative, who spread negativity, who are always cribbing. I repeat, if you want to grow in your life, have good people around. In case you see anybody saying anything negative, I'm not saying you have to shout on that person or just say anything on his or her face. Just stay away. Maintain social distancing. Take that person as a virus, corona. I have to maintain, I have to do social distancing. So this is what I have been doing, and this is what has been motivating me. And I think it's very simple, but I just don't appreciate it. Don't let negativity stay around.
That's a very nice answer.
Thank you.
That's all from my side. If the audience have any questions, please, for any of our speakers, please raise your questions now.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being so much. Thank you for having so much patience actually. And now I would like to request all of you or now I would like to request Nandini ma'am for giving the vote of thanks.
before she proposes vote of thanks, my vote of thanks to Dr. Nandini Vasisth. Nishita, you should ask about the stress and how to deal with that. You should ask that question to Nandini ma'am also. I only know how she dealt with this situation and how she managed the entire event. I really congratulate her for a lot of efforts that she has taken and the great speakers that she has got for Amity years. We are really that you are there in the campus. Thank you for coming. Yeah.
Thank you, Havaldar sir. Thank you, Ishita, for wonderful moderation. I know I am in between your lunch and the program, so I'm not going to take much time. Just few things I want to say. Amity students are very smart and intelligent, and I'm teaching them for the last 3 years, and I must say they are very active in curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular activities. But I never heard in last few years from University Mumbai anybody cracked UPSC. So I thought that we should have such template to motivate our students. And I think that we need 3 things for any kind of career achievement or career success. One is mindset, second is knowledge, and third is inspiration. We have with us Shubham Gupta sir, who is inspirational figure, ranked 6th in UPSC. Sir, how many students generally appear in 1 year in UPSC? 12 lakhs. So in 12 lakhs, rank 6th. You can understand he's an inspiration. He's an inspiration. And knowledge, what I can say, except cases are in whole India, is mentoring many students and 1600 plus students who passed IAS or UPSC. So it's a big number, you can understand. So obviously, and for mindset, you heard Charul ma'am, how from UPSC aspirant, she went to study law, first, then anchor, then actress. So this kind of mindset, like whatever you are doing, do with dedication and do your best and you will achieve something. So for 3 things we have with us 3 I think prominent distinguished guests, and they came from different parts of India. Kesita sir came from Noida, Shubham sir came from Nasik, and ma'am from Sayal. So it's really, we are really thankful to you, sir. I think many of you are now thinking about UPSC. If not, then also you are thinking something which can like, see, in Amity, you know that you all are getting placements and you will get some job, but not only like some job you should do which is not for money but for some like your mind, your own soul, and your own country. So I think UPSC is something like that. And also I want to thank the organizers, the ILA students, ILA faculties, Dr. Mimai, Panduram sir, Dr. Raju, Sharmika ma'am, everyone. And I want to mention some names, especially who are working day and night for the success of this program. Like Ishita, I don't have the names, maybe I am missing some names. Ishita, Harsh, Akib, Ananya, Divya, Rebecca, and many more. And also our technical team of Amity University Mumbai, Chetanji, Ketan, Atul, and many more. And obviously, last but not the least, I want to thank the audience who are here, and also I think 250 or around 300 people are listening from all parts of India through this Zoom meeting link. So thank you all.
Actually, from my side, I like to give a special thanks to Nandini. I have known her for a good amount of time, and I don't know whether she will go on to allow me the permission to use the name that we go to use it for her, because she is so much amount of full of energy. And I agree with Dr. Holdar in this case. That is, she has managed it, she is a researcher, she organizes events, and over and above, she is able to find a time for her research work as well. I don't know how that's going to manage it. I think the best answer to anyone who asks me what is the stress and how to manage it, they should just go to learn from her, doing nothing at all. Because yesterday also I went on to put her under some amount of stress before taking it off from her, right? And she's always cool, calm, and you can go to take a look at her. She's so sweet. Thank you, Nandini.